everyone, welcome to RPGeeks, where we do Dungeons and Dragons and science set in the sci-fi world of Braxiganto. We are four science communicators who love to play D&D, and then afterwards we talk about the science behind the sci-fi concepts that came up in the game. So we shall introduce ourselves. I am Shamini. I use she, her pronouns, and today I am playing Tenebris, and most days we play the same characters. I'm playing Tenebris. She has white hair and goggles, and the appearance may have been built around that I had this really cool wig, and is some kind
a cool
of a
deep
magical
character created because I had a wig.
All right. Some sort of sorcerer, mystical mind powers, but sciencey, slime mold. What? Emily Bates.
Oh, it's me. Hello, I'm Emily Bates. I am a science video producer, and in this I play Infinite Skies 6000, who is a terraforming droid, circle of stars, robot chick. So
Wow.
that's them.
Robot chick.
So yeah,
It's powerful.
Simon.
Hello, I am Simon, and most streams, in fact all streams, I play Uriel, who is a cybernetically enhanced human that we run in our reskin of D&D 5e as a dwarf monk, and very excitingly, Uriel, along with the other characters, may have just leveled up to level 3. And
We've got to sleep. We have to sleep.
okay.
Right, yeah, okay.
He won't let us until we sleep.
In theory, we have leveled up, but which brings with it some exciting upgrades, and in Uriel's case, they literally are upgrades.
I'm so intrigued as to what.
And
I think you did say, actually. No, you did say.
I did say last time, I believe.
Yeah.
And I use he, him pronouns. Uriel uses he, they. And I make science videos for a living, and also may have written the book. Oh God, it's gone! Like, it's normally behind me. There it is! For podcast listeners, Emily Bates has a signed copy of Firmament by Simon Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Can I read the sign
That
copy
was
out for everyone
next
else?
level pantomime.
It says, Bates, brackets, Emily. I think you're great. This was my first signed copy. Sorry. And then the signature.
Aw.
So,
Nobody
and I
tells
think
you how to do this.
well, because you did ask, you were like, what should I write? And I was like, I don't know, Emily, I think you're great. And so it wasn't even Simon thinking I'm great. It was just because I told him to write that. So,
If Captain Picard has taught me anything, it's that you just need to listen to the people around you who know what they're talking about and just do what they say. So
I don't know what I'm talking about. Why are you flashing red?
Something's happening!
Red October standing by. I'm not sure why that went off.
Chaos.
Let me just quickly tweak those settings. But in the meantime, there's one final person that needs to be introduced, and that is our dungeon master, Ali Jennings.
Hello. I am Ali Jennings, use he, him pronouns. I'm the DM for this campaign. I've created the world. It's beautiful and lush and amazing. And that's it, I think. Oh, I make science videos. I love science. Yeah. It sounded a bit Trumpian, didn't it?
I was thinking gold member. Like,
Well off the rails already, guys. Let's
yeah, okay.
bring it back.
roll the intro. I'm
Just
calling
roll
it
it,
this time. Roll the
roll
intro.
it. So, where were we? Our party had stolen a shuttle bound for the city of Gunka. They wanted to reach there to meet up with a mysterious group called the Red Runners, but they were boarded on their voyage towards Gunka by some sort of strange creature. The creature slew the crew of the ship and searched for our party, but did not find them until our brave heroes decided to steal the other ship. And so they, with some excellent metamorphosizing, yes, from Emily Bates, turning herself into a
It was Emily Bates. It wasn't even Infinity. It was me. I did it.
It was horrific. If you've not seen the VOD, spare yourself.
Sorry, do
Much
continue.
screaming and general spideriness, transformed himself into a huge spider, climbed into the ship, got everyone else up via a rope, just in time to see this creature pounding its way towards you, making various horrible faces and noises, which I won't do here. And then you flew into the sky.
What was the ship
turned
called?
out,
What was the ship called, Ali?
you actually don't know its name. I'll
It's
be
called the
honest
Tooth
with
Fairy.
you.
It's called the Tooth Fairy. That's what it's called. That's what we call it.
Has been christened the Tooth Fairy by ignorance. But
That's us.
anyway, attempted to fly this tooth ship through the sky towards Gunker, failed, ended up flying it in a completely different direction, but did manage to land it without everybody dying. And when they exited the craft, they found themselves here, which is what all these noises you can hear in the background are about. They found themselves far south of Val, deep in a swampy bayou.
In the bayou.
Bayou. Ding, 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 ding.
In the bayou.
It occurred to me, by the way, that we were we were in a hijacking situation. We hijacked a ship that was itself hijacked, and then we survived the hijacking of our hijacked ship by hijacking the ship
Hijacking a
that
ship.
hijacked the hijacked ship.
Yes.
The Hijackers. That's our party name.
well.
We've solved it, everyone.
Yeah.
We've
Hijack
Sound
found
section.
bad in the court.
does
Like,
sound bad.
and when the court case comes up, and they're gonna be like, "Can you refer to yourselves as?"
Did you hijack the ship? Hijackers? Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry.
That was great. If you've got more, I mean, go on. This feels like an important moment.
I feel like this isn't in character. I feel this is very much the
yeah.
RP Geeks talking.
Okay. So,
Oh, you're just saying yes in French. Cool.
Oh, we-
leaving the ship, Infinity, you stepped out into this lush, verdant new world. Around you, the golden light of the setting sun suffuses the haze rising off the swamplands. Uriel and Tenebris, you peek your head out. Tenebris, the light is very bright, almost blinding to you. You feel beads of sweat forming on your face in the humid air. The undergrowth rises to around your knees, bulrushes, reeds swaying in the water. You're standing up to your ankles in this water. In front of you, you see some patches of open pools speckled with lilies, bursting bubbles from unseen sources. Gnarled old trees spread twisting roots through the mud, on which sprout smaller plants, orchids, bladderwort, mosses. You can see some way through the sparse tree trunks, although you have to squint through the rays of the sun, standing out in the mists. Streams, wider watercourses wend their way through the silt and the soil in the distance, and the sound of life is everywhere. Uriel, you can hear insects whirring and humming, and birds squawking, and then occasionally a low grunting of some larger creature in the distance. You feel the heat on your chest of the sun, but when you look up, you see the darkening evening sky, which almost feels cool. Infinity, you approach the body of the creature who had attacked you on the shuttle. The water laps around your ankles as you see the creature. Open one eye and move its head towards you.
Yes, hello. Now, Uriel would like to keep his belt on, so it would be better if you didn't try and fight us right now.
Who are you?
Hello, I'm Infinite Sky 6000, serial number 8697. I've forgotten the serial number again. God damn it, Emily Bates.
Hey, Sam,
I haven't got it open. I didn't have it open before I do it. I've got it.
Whilst this is happening, Uriel is absolutely disgusted. This is the grossest place he has ever seen in his life.
You're wrong. Yes, sorry. Infinite Sky 6000, serial number 86919726, PMGB 1530ML. Hello.
Where is my ship?
Oh, just over there.
How's the ship looking in the muddy water?
The ship is half buried. So the pointed end of the ship, which looks like this canine tooth, with one end as the enamel point and the other end as a root sticking up out of the mud, has lodged itself, tooth first, into the silt and mud and is half buried. Right now it looks like some sort of monstrous fleshy flower budding out of the ground from which you've exited. The creature turns its neck, grating. You hear bones clack around its shoulder blades and reaches with its one eye towards the ship. You see it let out a slight an exhalation. Will you kill me?
Oh, only if you try and kill my friends. Otherwise, I won't.
Will you kill us? Is kind of a question that I'd like to ask, actually.
Mm-hmm. This is Uriel.
The creature looks at you, Uriel. You, metal man.
I'm technically more metal than he is.
Yeah, she actually is. She's
Little
well,
bit
it's
of a
kind
sword point, actually, maybe.
more of a kind of compound. No, it's more synthetic. Anyway, sorry. Yeah,
I quite like it, actually, Uriel. I don't think we've really spoken about it, but I like the kind of melding together. It's interesting.
I know your kind. Why you here?
The ship crashed.
Yeah, the tooth ship it impacted.
And the creature looks between the two of you, as if sizing up. You no kill me, then you free me.
What would you like to be freed from? Why did you come on the other ship?
You see, the creature is clearly thinking. What you see is a slender, crumpled form, thick, pachyderm-like skin, greeny-grey, sunken eyes, no nose, and a circular mouth. Now, sucking air in with what seems like great pain. I must home.
You must home.
Hey, Infinity.
This is Tenebris.
Hello, I am one of aforementioned friends. That is me, so don't kill me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity, ask about if we can get a lift. We can get drop off on way.
Oh, to Gunka. Yes.
Yes, we get drop off. They go home.
Yes, maybe you could be a friend too, and we could all travel to Gunka together. Maybe. You're still not really telling me why you landed on our big ship, though.
And why you killed Captain Espinosa.
That wasn't very nice.
We didn't like that.
You. I no live Gunka.
Okay. But where do you live?
My home is void. between stars.
You live between the stars.
On like a ship or a Lagrange point, or what kind of configuration?
Sorry, I just realized something. Please continue. Just never didn't.
My people know me. This place, my home. Not here, but I must work here.
Oh, what do you do?
The creature looks at you. And stays silent.
Oh,
Did
do I think that means it's something sinister?
What from the murderous creature?
did you
Could it be something sinister?
did you attack the ship we were on from orbit, or were you from the planet already?
Dip come from space.
Do you say
We
give?
fall like rain on the worlds.
Oh, you just arrived on the planet. Are there more of you?
My what word? What word? My
Family.
my family. We live in void. We come here to do what we must.
Okay, well, as long as you're not going to kill people, Tenebris, you like people having jobs, right?
Oh yes, I am very pro-employment, especially my own employment. So if you have any
Yes.
work going, are you hiring right
Oh.
now? Your
Are you
void
like a
family?
manager or like a middle
I
manager?
have like two, but not killing jobs, because I am actually only pick jobs involving not hurting people, not
yes,
killing people.
not terrible pain.
I'm very nice and would never do something like that to you.
You watch as this creature seems to tense a little bit. You see its elbows drawn into its sides somewhat, and a strange series of expressions cross its tense features. And then you hear a noise.
Are you dying?
It's almost like a laugh.
Oh,
Ha 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 ha.
I didn't tell a joke.
You to send.
Sorry, I forgot. I muted myself for the stream, but not for the Zoom call. I thought I had impunity. I had carte blanche to do a shamany sneeze, and I slightly forgot. The best part is
Never
people at
let
home
one
just
like
heard
sneezes.
nothing.
And we all went forward.
Sorry about that, yes.
Apologies.
As you were.
They sent me for you,
Wait,
and you kill me.
Wait, we haven't killed you.
wait, who, your family sent you for us?
How do they know who we are? Us in particular? Me, Uriel, and Tenebris.
Or was it just the people who stole the ship, whoever that was, which happens to
Right.
actually be Uriel and
The three of us, yes.
Yes. We established this last time.
I have purpose.
Oh, so did you have a job to stop us? Who hired you?
You see the mouth, this ring with what seems to be tiny incisor-like teeth around the inside, almost like the mouth of a leech, contracts slightly as the face hardens.
Okay.
So, wait, hey, yeah, is it us that you're looking for? Could, you know, be kind of useful to know if we are kind of wanted by a group of people, especially people from, you know, space.
Or like the mining company.
Should I not have said our names?
Yeah, maybe.
I think we've
not.
already introduced ourselves, to be fair.
True.
Well, yeah, that's the point. Yeah. Are people out to get us for that whole ship's accidentally borrowing thing?
It was an accident.
Why did you want to blow up the ship? You said not self-destruct. You said autopilot was going to crash ship. Like, if company sent you, did they not want the ship back and the captain and that old man who was there and someone else who was a mystery person who was there? Why you kill them?
Make a persuasion check.
Let's go. Charisma.
And
Let's go.
can you give a reason why maybe they
Yeah.
would want to respond?
That's fair. Yeah, that's a fair point. Well, because it would be helpful for us to know, and presumably by this point, your job kind of got messed up anyway, so it doesn't matter if you tell us. We won't tell anyone if you do tell us, obviously.
What was your persuasion roll?
Is no, dodgy. It was a natural one.
I no talk. You. My ship. Give my ship.
No.
No, I think it's our ship now.
It's stealing. We already stole one thing. We don't want to steal another thing. We'll get into so much trouble.
DnDebrief, he's not being very nice.
Also, to be fair, the ship's kind of out of fuel now, so
Oh yeah.
not really going to do you any
yeah.
good. You know, kind of stuck here with us, really.
If you like, we could help you and make you feel better and help you get more fuel if you help us. You know, like helping because we are stuck in the swamp and I don't know where we are, and it is very bright and very warm.
Or we could leave you here,
Well, then they might not be very well.
but we wouldn't hurt them.
Technically.
Do you want to go back to space, or are you okay with being here on the planet?
I must go back.
Why?
I fail. I must atone.
No, you know,
Oh.
fail.
Well, you're
No,
not failed yet. You're kind of in a hanging
Yes.
state right now. You haven't
Yeah.
really output a failure or a win.
No,
know, you
we're
got
still here. You're
Yeah.
here. So,
The ship, the other ship is crashed.
what
It's not
exactly was
failure.
your job? I don't want to
Yeah.
leave you here on your own,
No.
but I will.
Oh.
You are fools.
Whoa.
Fools. He's saying fools. He's being
Oh,
mean
I
again.
thought he said
They're
wolf.
being mean again. What pronouns do you use? Excuse me?
Yes, we would not like to
Because we
misgender
keep
you.
talking about you in the third person, even though you're right here. Sorry about if that might also be rude.
Do you not see? You have doomed me. I am stuck.
We're really sorry. We didn't mean to. Aren't we sorry? Oh my gosh, I feel bad now.
I'm not sorry because I'm confused about what we didn't do it on purpose.
So are you saying if you go back to space, you're doomed, and they do something bad to you because of your current not win state that you've returned?
Those who pay will need result. I fail.
Could you not just go back and say that we all crashed on that ship?
You see for a second something pass behind its sunken dark eyes. They're a strange colour, almost a kind of deep, misty purple, almost clouded. But you can see them move, flicking between the three of you. Make a persuasion check.
Ooh, I'm not good at those. Let's go.
9.
5.
My honor. If they ever knew, my honor would be nice.
Okay, well, you see, now we're at an impasse, aren't we? Because I'm not going to let you hurt my friends.
I have an idea. Okay, listen. Now, I know that you had the job, and it is very important, and you have some honor, and you made agreements and commitments. But, sometimes, if the job isn't working for you, you need to be bold, and you need to secretly quit without telling anyone and run away. Okay? And then you start new life. You have new job. We help you find employment. I also am looking for employment. We have, some leads on possible archaeology positions.
Mm-hmm. We're archaeologists.
We are, yes. We dig. So I think this would be an excellent alternative career route for you if you would be willing to switch it up a bit.
Roll one more persuasion check.
Last chance.
If this doesn't work, I have an idea.
This is a very persuasive
I'm
argument
happy
this
to switch to
time.
intimidation check soon if needs be.
23.
Ah!
There she is.
Ah!
Hello.
There's our
I'm
sorcerer.
back.
For a second, you see conflicting emotion. The first time you've seen it in this creature's face. As though they're trying to compute something which is alien to them.
You would grant me another path.
Well, we could do that. We could let you go back to space if you wanted. Sounds like you don't want to do that. Alternatively, if you don't want to take that other path, you don't want to go to space, I'm sure we could just, kind of terminate you now, and if you'd like that, we could do that in exchange for you giving us a bit more information, perhaps.
Euthanasia.
I
someone
don't
said
want
call
that.
it.
You don't want that, do you?
Oh, giving them the choice. Giving them the choice. Pardon.
Ready to meet death. I am born to meet death.
Oh, that's
Fear nothing.
Okay, my mistake.
Right. Okay. So how about this? How about if you tell us why you were looking for us and where you're from, and all this
Who
kind of
hired
stuff.
you?
That's not going to mean anything to you. We could, terminate your life signs in the next kind of 10 minutes, and everybody's happy.
yes, we could do it quite quickly.
Be that happy, but okay.
Creature flops heavily over to one side, and you can see that there's bits of what look like ribs, so much like human ribs, forcing their way up and even almost through this thick pachyderm-like skin, this leathery carapace, and they're bulging at odd angles. And as it flops, it sucks in air with pain. It looks straight at you, Shaman. Tenebris.
But it's hollow.
You would provide me another path. I wish to go home, not this earthly, weaseling life. You give me my ship. You leave me. What would you ask?
If you can tell us who sent you and told you to kill the captain and
was it specifically us you were trying to kill, or was it just anybody who happened to have, borrowed a shuttle?
if you can tell the employer and the job, then we will leave here. Is that agreed with everyone? We don't need this ship. We cannot fly it.
I don't mind not having the ship.
Not like.
What I do mind is that this person might come back and try and kill us.
Yeah, but how would they find us? Like they'd know.
The person that they the person that sent them might come and send more people to.
Exactly, and
Same difference.
I just want you to know, and Infinity will look at the creature. If more people come from your family and try and hurt my friends, I will kill them. And I will kill you if you come back.
And just to reiterate, I am happy to kill you now if that is what you want.
My word is my bond.
That's very nice, actually, isn't it?
Okay, then we have deal. We have employer and the job. In return, we let you be. You can take your ship. It is little damp, but it should be fine.
It looks over his shoulder. Yeah, that'll buff out. That'll. That's fine.
You will help me.
He looks at you, Infinity.
You can help me.
I can let you have your ship back.
Great pain.
Yes, normally I could, but unfortunately my power reserves are very low, so I haven't got anything left.
Take me to my ship.
Can Infinity work out whether he's telling the truth about just leaving and not coming back?
Roll a insight check.
Yum. Okay, not bad. Nearly broke my dice tray. 16.
With 16, this creature is a bit of an enigma. They seem to have mastered the way that humans interact, but they seem to hold this sort of interaction in disdain. What you sense is that they are operating by a different rule set.
Okay.
And that to them, the idea of betrayal is anathema. It would be difficult, extremely difficult, for them to force themselves to do it.
Okay. Great. I don't think he'll come back. I don't know if others will come, but we can be away from here by then.
We can help you to the ship. But how about before in exchange for us helping you, why don't you help us? And you could tell us, for example, was it us you're looking for? Was it the people who took the ship, and why were you looking
Who
for us?
hired you?
Here is a trade.
I'm shade touched. I work for the many heads.
That sounds like it could be a charity.
That
could
sounds
be
lovely.
perfectly
The
nice
many
organisation.
heads of friendly people.
Yeah,
I'm
many
sure.
hands of friendship.
Yeah.
They summon me for this task. They tell me a ship flies from the mountains to the city. I must destroy it and all who fly aboard.
That was very useful. Thank you.
When you say the city, which city do you mean? Did they tell you?
They say if the ship is to reach any destination, fail my mission.
Well,
I-
the ship didn't.
I think you could chalk that up as a victory condition actually.
Yeah.
Ship was destroyed before it reached the city.
It's
You
not.
three must die.
See, no, you're doing it again, and then I will kill you.
We
So
will probably eventually die, okay? Like, it will take a little bit of time, but...
Speak for
all
yourself.
Things...
I don't know what happened. I think I just keep charging up, actually. I don't.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
never
actually kind of
mind.
just a you problem.
Just trying to
It's
help.
why we have this issue, Tenebris.
Okay,
Yes, we'll all
okay.
die. I can definitely die.
Let us help this person back to their ship. Strong people?
Oh, I'm not strong at all.
And just
actually.
just before we do that, were you the only one sent? Was it just a one lone gunman kind of thing?
What's a gunman? No, we know what guns are. Ignore that.
Pew, pew.
Wiped.
For us, we live there. And it rolls its head with a crunch back. And now you can see that it's looking straight at the sky, darkening now, the first stars starting to appear above the trees, above the leaves. And for a second, its head is surrounded by water, which seems as though it's almost on fire with the final gold of the setting sun. And it's a strange image, a devilish creature with a halo of gold, just staring at the sky.
You know, we could just kill him still. He's kind of told us what we need to know.
Uriel.
I think now we have to let him go back to the ship. I don't think he'll betray us.
Well,
We have deal.
if your intelligence says that, then I must trust that is divine. Okay.
It's not divine, just to be.
No, it
Clear.
is. It absolutely is.
Okay, we'll talk about this later.
Okay.
Let's help him to the ship.
Okay, I will try and pick up one leg of the person.
Just you, Tenebris?
Just one leg.
You
No,
must
I'll
just
go help. I'll help.
Baymax
I'll help. I'll try.
Then I will
I'll
look
go
expectantly at the others.
Oh yes, sorry. I'll go round to
Oh,
his
yeah,
head
yeah.
and kind of lift up his torso.
Oh, the ground should not be squishy.
Oh,
Between you,
this is so
you're-
exciting.
Managed to carry this creature. As you're carrying it, you notice certain things. Firstly, is that it's surprisingly light. It's a very slender frame, quite tall, but with this very strong outer layer of what seems like some sort of skin over it. Infinity, cradling its head, you realize that the heaviest part of it by some way is the head, and it's almost perfectly spherical, like a bowling ball, almost. The skull seems to be very, very circular and quite heavy compared to the rest of the body.
but there is strength within these sinewy, slender arms. And as you carry it back to the ship, you hear the rattling of its breath. And it's looking towards the ship with some kind of yearning. Do you place it inside the vessel?
What?
Yeah.
Lovely.
It takes 2 points of full damage. No.
And it's dead.
Happy travels!
Whoops.
It's there in a mangled heap on the floor. Do any of us, I don't think we've asked this, do any of us recognise this type of
Oh yeah, good
skin?
question.
Have we seen this in a bar, for example?
No.
We asked if it was like Ballsack Boy, and he said
Yeah,
no.
it's not like Ballsack Boy. This is new.
Everyone who wants to roll a history check.
Ooh, I'm not
See if
bad
you've
at
come
that.
across this.
A non-natural 20.
3.
16.
Infinity, you have cycled through your data banks and looked for something like this. You are getting some strange feedback. The first thing you can tell is this is not a creature from this world. You know that. It does not appear in any of that data. However, you are getting strange other insights into it. You look down at its form, the humanoid nature of it, you see where the bones are placed, and you feel like there are echoes of humanity in there. That the similarities are too close to be a mere coincidence. But as well as that, you're getting some other sensations, as though you've felt parts of other creatures maybe within there as well.
You're very
Tenebris,
interesting. Sorry.
you notice nothing at all, because this creature, although being incredibly light, is still very heavy for you. Uriel, you have lived in Martin's Bane your entire life. You've heard stories. People come, people go. You've seen travelers. You've been to what passes for the nexus points of those craft. You have heard half-remembered stories, rumors, some strange whisperings of something like this. The green men. Sometimes the little green men, when drunk, or someone shouted in the bar, some sort of old wives' tale, but always hushed up.
All right.
You place this figure in the body of the ship. As you do it, the ship starts to close itself around the body.
Stand back, stand back, stand back.
The deep red crimson flesh of the inside of the craft molds itself around the broken form of this creature, and with a long exhale,
Oh, it's gonna heal it.
it finally relaxes. The root of this ship forms itself around and eventually closes shut off, and the whole ship subsides. Now some sort of strange crimson monolith sticking out at a strange angle from the bayou, and you three are left with the final rays of the setting sun standing in the swamp.
We should move away from it.
Yeah, can we please get somewhere that is dry?
Slightly
Find
drier would be good.
Either land dry or up tree dry.
Yes, absolutely.
Look
Also,
around.
look how beautiful this place is. There are so many different plants. And
Yeah,
listen.
that's kind of why it's really not. This is
Oh, I love
this
it.
is unnatural. I don't
It's-
like.
No, it's very natural.
No, it's. Can we-
Is the water warm?
It is cool, but it's not freezing cold. It's certainly not as cold as the water that you were in when you came down through the mountains when you were fleeing the wall.
It is nice that it is warm here. The water is still cold. I don't know how you can have like a really warm place and like really cold water. That makes no sense, but it is better than the other place.
Splashing through the water to the nearest bit of dry
Yeah, can we
land.
look around for either height or large trees?
Infinity just wants to go and look at all the plants and see if there are any animals she can see.
Oh,
You
boy.
three splash your way towards the roots of this very old gnarled oak that rises out of the swamp. Soil has formed around the roots, clustered and clogged, and grasses and flowers are growing out between all the wooded protuberances there. You can lift yourselves up and sit on one of the major tap roots winding its way out of the trunk. And there you'll be above the waterline.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad to see a tree.
See? You're coming round, Uriel.
No, it's just a lesser of two evils kind of thing, really. Right, are we going to talk about what just happened?
Yes, we probably should. I think, though... I mean, I could definitely do with the sleep. I am... my power reserves are quite low.
Yeah, I need to... I've got to do something, otherwise I am just going to have a world of problems in this place.
Yeah, well, Uriel, you have to sleep longer than me and Tenebris, so...
You've mentioned this before, I'm aware.
Well, it's just because you're so,
Look,
precious.
fine, look, fine. Tell you what, tonight I'm just going to run some diagnostics, and just give me a moment. Come morning, you'll see.
Okay.
Is that how everyone falls asleep now?
Infinity just like... Tenebris, you go to sleep first. I want to look at the plants while there's still some light.
Okay. 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 I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Uriel and Tenebris, you curl up amid the roots underneath the canopy of this ancient oak, and above you, you're lulled to sleep by the sounds of the insects whirring and the birds, the nightjar. Infinity, you search through the swamp. Roll an investigation check. Is there anything particular you're looking for?
Well, she is looking for plants and animals, but actually what she wants to do is she wants to check whether the ship has left or not.
Okay. Well, even without that investigation check, you can see that the ship is still there, completely unmoved. And even as darkness falls, it stands out as this black, conical, lopsided shape against the brightness of the stars and the moons.
Okay, I'll keep... how far away is it from the tree and where we are?
It's about 100 meters, so it's
Okay,
clearly visible, but it's a
Fine,
distance.
perfect. I got a 16 on investigation to look at plants and animals, but ideally animals. Just like, can she see any cool... She doesn't know what a bayou animal necessarily would be here, so just anything.
You look through the waters, and what you're mainly seeing is that in this swampy territory, there are frogs, there are beetles. You can see lots and lots of little insects, mosquitoes, and gnats, dragonflies, very, very large, just hovering and then darting towards their prey. And you see in the sky above small birds nested in the trees. You see the occasional silhouette of something larger, maybe like a gull or some form of... Roll a nature check from this silhouette in the final rays.
Cheryl. That is also a 16.
From the silhouette of this bird that you see in the sky, you can see that it's a very wide wingspan, that it's a soaring bird, and not a bird of prey, something that you might find near the ocean, the sea.
Like a seagull.
Bigger than a
Albatross.
seagull.
A
An
wingo.
albatross.
It's wheeling very slowly in the thermals generated from the final heat off the land. And as you watch, it straightens up and begins to glide away from you into the distance.
The only animal you see fish, lots of fish, minnows, you see smaller fish, pilot fish, you see one or two catfish just lazily hugging the submerged roots. And for animals, you see mice. I could go on listing all the animals that you see this
I mean, you could, and I could add them all to my list.
Maybe I'll just add that the one thing you do see, which I don't know if you've seen before, in the distance, you see antlers poking their way out from behind a tree. And then the figure of a red deer, a male red deer, walks slowly out, holds up its head to look at you. You can see the moonlight shines on its face and it's picked out against the blackness of the forest behind it. And then with a... it turns and it leaves.
Now I know what it sounds like too, so it won't be a cat. Oh, how wonderful. Okay. She just sits and enjoys it for as long as it takes for Tenebris to have her sleep.
Roll a perception check for your night's watch.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, fuck, what's happening? Ooh, not great. 11.
You know nothing.
You know nothing, Infinite Scar.
You're in the Night's Watch and you know nothing, Jon Snow.
Infinite Scar 6000.
And forevermore, the night watch will be done in that voice.
What do I see? I rolled an 11. You see Snow and fuck all else.
You've distracted Ali.
Here, Uriel's stertorous breath, his chest rising and falling. But nothing else apart from the animals that you've already seen. Uriel, as you first tumble into sleep, it's black and deep, and you feel nothing. As your sleep progresses, you start to feel the numbers. Always there. The slow bed, the ripple of ones and zeros. But there is something new. Something new in the feeling of it. Roll a perception check.
Ooh. Ooh. A 5.
But sadly, in the depth of your slumber, you can't place what the difference is. But you know it's there.
Floating point error.
Chat of opportunity. What the hell is that?
Oh, no. Floating point error is when you you have a certain amount of information you can use to store a number in a computer. And basically, if you are at the maximum amount that you can store and you try to add to that value, so for example, you can only count numbers up to 1,000 and you're at 999.
1001.
Well, so when I say you're counting to 1,000, what you know, typically in a computer, you start at 0 and go up to 999. So
I know. I'm sorry. I was being a shit.
But if you add 1 to that, you go to 1,000, which because you only have 3 digits to play with, would actually be registered as 0. So it kind of loops back around. The famous example of this, which is half an old wives' tale, and I think has some truth in it, was when they coded the original Civilization games. And they made Gandhi.
Oh, Gandhi!
Tell me that's not true.
Apparently it might not be
devastated.
true.
I thought it was true.
I've heard conflicting things. I think I heard Sid Meier's say that it wasn't
Okay, we need to actually
true.
say what it is, because there might be people who don't know.
Gandhi, the leader of the Indian civilization in the first Civilization game, was coded to be as unaggressive as possible. But when nukes were invented by somebody in the game, everybody got less aggressive. But because that Gandhi was at the least aggressive possible, he went round to the most aggressive he could possibly be and just started declaring war on everyone. And so nuke trigger happy Gandhi is like a thing in Civ.
I was going to say, and haven't they made that a thing in future games now?
Yeah,
that Gandhi is always now nuke happy the minute he gets them.
If the story is to be believed, it was originally a mistake and it is now a feature, not a bug.
Right.
So... You know, imagine Uriel's just like, that was weird. It's probably just a floating point.
I do love the Civ games.
And then you recapitulate this entire story in your head, and it brings you pleasure.
Yeah. There was an ancient Earth legend of an AI called Gandhi.
Tenebris, from your trance, nothing. You wake as Infinity wakes you.
Yes, I'm very tired now, so...
Okay, is there any wolves?
I haven't seen a wolf. I saw a red deer, Tenebris. A deer with antlers.
Okay. Are they dangerous?
No, they're lovely.
Okay.
The ship is still there, and I'll point to where the Tooth Fairy is.
Well, maybe that person is just, chilling and getting things fixed again, and
just keep an eye on it. I'm worried.
Oh, okay. What's the ship?
Anyway,
watch
good
out,
night.
dear. Okay, good night. Oh, they're gone. Okay, I'm gone again. Look.
Roll a perception check for your night's watch.
13.
The shadows are closing in. The moons above are very bright. Over the stretches of water that are clear, you can see it reflected off in silver. No movement, apart from the insects and the frogs around you. Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
You slip into sleep. Or at least the defragging that you do when you're asleep. But the moment you close your eyes and engage the program, you are back in the strange glade that you've seen before in your dreams. Green sunlight through the leaves above you. You hear noises. And you're struck by the beauty of this place. You see strange plants you've never seen before, great bulbs, circular jugs, vines that grow all the way up and entangle other plants. You see the ground is strewn with insects fighting and marching across strange territory. Roll a perception check.
24. Give me.
24. This feels wrong. You know what life is. You are encoded with it all. Something about this does not work, but you cannot put your finger on what it is. As this is happening, you feel a strange emotion coming upon you. Something that you've yet to feel in your new experiences in this body. You feel dread, a deep sinking in the pit of where your stomach would be. You look around and you see the trees, the vines, the leaves start to sway almost imperceptibly. You feel vibrations in the earth around you. A wind starts to blow. It's hot and dry. And then a noise, a roar. It builds and builds, and then blackness. And you and Uriel awake as the morning comes. And at that point, we're going to take our break just a little bit early. As you wake up, before you have a chance to enjoy the bayou.
So,
Ding,
are
ding,
we
ding, ding, ding.
breaking here to go
accents
into the DnDebrief, or are we going to do more after the break?
We're going to come back
Bit
here and
more.
do the second installment of the campaign, and then we'll get to the DnDebrief at 9. You all wake into the pre-dawn light, just a faint tint of rose suffusing the sky. What will you do with this day?
I would first like to see if the ship is still there.
The ship is still there, unmoved, unchanged.
and I would like to choose my spells. So talk amongst yourselves, everyone.
Right. Okay. So I take it we're all agreed. We don't want to stay in this awful place. We got to move. We can't just create a new life out here.
I mean, I do think it's rather beautiful.
It's
Yes, but
not getting us any closer to Gunka or off planet.
Yes, no, you are correct.
if you go too far away from, civilization, you can die. So let's not do that. Let us follow that smoke that we saw earlier. Let's try
Can we
and
still see
find-
the smoke?
Make a perception check. So this was the smoke that you saw as you were coming down through the
it's
sky.
quite far, wasn't it?
6.
Yeah, you can't. You can see through the trees. You can see up to the sky a little bit, but the sky is just starting to turn a less dark shade of blue. There's no smoke.
Is the sky on Braxcanty the same blue as the sky on Earth?
Given
Good
that
question.
it has the same amount of ozone, right? Which is the thing which... Oh god, I'm talking to the wrong person about this. Makes it blue.
It'd be the quantity of atmosphere that makes it blue, like the quantity of diatomic gas. So, if the pressure at the surface is approximately the same and the composition is approximately the same, then yeah, it'll be about the same.
Then yes, it is.
Unless, of course, it had a lot of particulates. So the colour of the sky can change if, in the aftermath of fires or sandstorms or whatever. So if there's lots of particulates hanging in the air, and that could include sea salt. If we're by the ocean, it'll probably look a bit whiter. But yeah. Otherwise, it'll probably
Interesting. That is such good science. That's so good. Roll another perception check.
Oh, nat 20!
With a nat 20, after having remembered that incredible piece of extremely relevant information, you scan the sky again, and as it becomes brighter and the morning sun starts to peek through the trunks of the trees over the grasses and the reeds, you do see that in one direction the sky is noticeably to you slightly whiter.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I think there might be some... I think that might be the way that I saw the fire earlier, so I think we're going to pick a direction. At the moment, we're kind of just spinning a compass, which we don't have. Infinity, do you have a compass built into you?
No, I don't think so. I can tell you what the weather's going to be like. Would you like a weather report?
Yes, please.
Yes, sure.
I will use Druidcraft and do my weather report and try and hit a satellite and get the weather.
Fuck, Sport Channel!
Look up to the sky.
Hello, I'm Infinite Sky 6000, and your weather for the day will be...
Lansdowne Port East. Dry. Rain. Coming later. Lansdowne Port. Dry. Dry. Lansdowne Port West. Rain. Proceeding dry.
To be fair, you could use the actual names from the shipping forecast and it would sound just as alien.
Can we canon it that that is your voice is what comes out, like Infinity just sort of as a speaker, just this random weatherman voice comes out.
Absolutely, this
That's great.
BBC archive voice from 10,000 years ago.
But it's like asking Siri because, like Bates, you have a very Siri-esque voice. You do sound like a smart speaker, like when you do it.
Do you mean Bates or Infinity?
Sorry, Infinity by proxy Bates.
It's basically my voice, just a bit posher. That's all I'm doing.
But yeah, it's very like smart speakery. So I like the idea of it's like, hey Siri, play BBC weather for me, and then it's Ali's voice all of a sudden. Okay, so that was a no then. Look,
No, I don't have a compass.
I think we should kind of go that way. Staying away from, if we could just stay away from the swampy bit.
It is all swampy bits, Uriel.
Okay,
Look,
can we try and
there is swampy
maximize the
bit.
dryness quotient?
There is a swampy bit. Everywhere is swampy bit, Uriel.
Isn't it nice?
No,
It's very good for the ecosystem.
Right.
There's a lot
Growing-
of different
growing
plants
mushrooms.
and animals and insects that can live in it.
Infinity, you're perfect in every way. I just need you to remember that you were built for a biological environment.
Yes.
I'm halfway between. I'm kind of in that process of getting there, so
I understand.
I'm not built for this kind of environment. We're going to have some issues with me getting kind of swamp water in me. So
I think you'll be okay.
Well,
You still have...
I'm going to look down at where the organic components of Uriel meet the metallic components.
Where do they meet?
I'm just a bit...
Where's the
concerned.
join?
We've all seen the rope come off.
Wait, what's still there?
Uriel. Uriel,
It's
roll
a modular part. You could be...
Wonderful.
That's your arc. Just trying to get all the bits for your modular set.
Before a battle, it's like, wait a minute. Clunk. Weakness removed.
Uriel, roll a constitution check as you look down to check your metallic parts and the joins between that and your still human flesh.
Okay. Oh, that's too bad. That's it's an 11.
And it's a saving throw, not a check. That is important.
Yes, that's still 11.
You don't feel great. This water has indeed started seeping into the mechanical parts of your body. Your arm, where the joints are normally very lubricated and well moving, now you're starting to feel a stiffness creeping in. You feel like it's not going to be a problem yet, but as the day goes on, unless you do something about it, you might start to have trouble.
Like Emily Bates is having right now on the live stream.
You said lubricated stiffness. If you don't start doing something about it, you might have trouble. Don't know what you expect me to do with that.
Let's just get out of here as fast as possible, please, because this is only going to get worse.
Oh, okay.
Having said that, I think my algorithms have been running overnight. When in downtime, I've been kind of trying to improve some of the circuits in my forearm. Well,
Oh, that's so clever.
well, it's kind of mean. It's kind of there's an algorithm that's always running in the background of the like a firmware that's just trying to adapt to its environment. And
That's similar to what mine does.
yeah, it's a poor imitation of what your body is capable of doing. But I don't know. I feel like things are a little different now. So I kind of
Is it working?
It's working. It's really. I think it's working in ways it's never worked before. So let's just keep going and make sure that we don't let my newly improved arms fall off in the swamp, please.
Yes, I've also I've downloaded some new programs. So I think they're programs I used to have, but they've reactivated. So I think
cool.
I'm repairing.
This is great. You're both doing so great. I'm so pleased.
Do you think if I repair myself too much, then I'll go back to just being a robot?
What do we just?
You weren't always like this?
Well, I didn't always think like I do now. I didn't always feel anything.
But like in a good way or like a bad way?
In a bad way, I didn't feel anything.
So like you wouldn't have been our friend if we met them before you?
No, it would have been like meeting a computer.
So you didn't have a sentience whilst you were terraforming?
I was sentient. I didn't feel anything. I had no emotions. I have an emotional suppressor that is...
Oh, we can get you back to that
broken.
state. Don't worry. We can get you back.
No, Uriel, I don't want to. This is much better.
You don't want to get fixed?
Not entirely.
I do not understand your positronic neck sometimes.
I don't understand why you'd want to get rid of emotions.
Because... Let's maybe focus on getting out of this horrible place, and then maybe we can talk about this when we're safely on our way to Gunka.
Okay.
I think emotions are good, Infinity. You should stay like this. I like you right now.
Some of them are quite horrible, though. Sometimes I don't feel nice with them. But I like the nice ones a lot.
Yeah, that you have to have all of them. You cannot pick
I
and
can't just
choose.
pick and choose. I can
No,
do like an
no,
upgrade that maybe just some emotions of feel.
Maybe you could try, but yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Can you find us a good route to walk where it won't be splashing?
No,
Good.
not really. No,
Well,
I don't think so. Really,
Really?
What? No.
Right.
You
Not
could.
if I've not been there before. I don't think.
I just meant, do you have a good modifier to survival? I just meant.
Oh yes, I could. Yes, sorry. No, I am very good at. I can look at the ground and work out where to walk. Yes, I'm very good at that.
That's what that was.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I can. Tenebrous.
Sorry.
No, I thought you were talking about a very high level spell that I definitely don't have yet. But no, I can absolutely do that. Yes.
It's not. I like that your brain went there.
I was like, oh yes, find the path.
Find
No, I
the
don't
route?
find the path.
Yeah, Infinity. Go ahead and roll a survival check.
Man. 18.
18. And what order are you guys walking in?
I go first.
I'll go immediately after.
I will go at the back. I don't think I'd eaten by crocodile.
I haven't seen a crocodile. I would love to see. If you do see a crocodile, can you shout?
Okay. I look out for crocodiles.
Okay. We'll get to that in a second. With that,
We'll get to it in a while.
that was an 18 survival. That was really good! That was really good!
Good. Very good. Wow. Okay, that was a good one. Well done. Okay, yeah, it was an 18 survival.
Infinity. Over the course of your night's watch, you were scanning the area. You were looking out to see the shapes of the waterways, the creeks and channels that traverse this area. You were seeing the trees where they grow and how they form little islands of land and moss between these larger waterways. You know that you are headed in a general direction which Uriel has pointed out. You guide your little party, hopping from tree root to mossy stump, moving carefully over the shallowest patches of water, avoiding the alluvial silt which has built up into which your foot would sink. And you make your way towards the direction that Uriel pointed out. As you're going, what you realise is that alongside you, you can see, some way through the thicket, a grand waterway. Something much bigger than the little streaks and streams. Little creeks and streams that have been wending their way.
Sorry. That was your Carry on.
That have been wending their way between the roots of the trees and between these islands of mud and moss. And that channel looks like a river. And it is going the same direction you are. It's bending and curving, meandering through the swamp, but it's going in the same direction. And with that roll, none of you take any damage, none of you need to be wary of any pitfalls, even though you do see that if you were to choose the wrong step, take the wrong path, you might end up in deeper water. While this is happening, can everybody roll for me a perception check, everyone individually?
Is it still really bright today?
It's really bright. The sun, which is now risen and is now fully in the sky, is beating down through, and the canopy is not actually that thick. It's not like the forest you were in before. The sun pours through it, and in fact, the trees come out as little black islands to you in this sea of bright, white, hot light.
That was a 9 for Uriel.
Because I keep forgetting, I do have guidance as a cantrip. Can I give guidance to Nebris for this role? Because I know that it's all very bright for her and she doesn't really like it. And I'll just sort of like put my hand on her shoulder and go, I believe in you, Nebris. And you get a D4. And anyway, I rolled an 8.
So I have disadvantage on that roll, but I still got an 18.
Wow.
The other roll that I didn't get was a natural 20, and then my second roll was actually pretty good. So
And did you use the D4?
I used the D4, gave me an extra 2 on there as well, so it's going well. Thank you.
Tenebris, from the back of the party, can you tell me what you're doing? What makes you so suddenly perceptive, even in these harsh conditions?
Well, see, the thing is that I did say I was looking out for crocodiles, and I have a high. I'm highly motivated to look for crocodiles because I have a strong sense that if something were to grab my leg and pull me under, Uriel wouldn't necessarily notice or mind.
And Infinity would be really excited about seeing a crocodile. And
so
wow.
yeah, what it might be is that it might actually be that I'm mainly looking down, and shielding my eyes from the sky.
Are we looking for? We're assuming
Very
it's a
bright.
crocodile. It might not be a crocodile.
They're not crocodiles in the bayou. They're alligators.
Yeah, it'll be alligators.
Gators.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some
Which you'll
later.
talk about later, not in a while. That's how you tell them apart.
Don't milk it, Simon.
We're so cool.
I know, yeah, that was dangerously close to milky territory there.
So I will be mostly looking down, and I will say occasionally looking also around for like civilization, because wilderness ain't good.
Tenebris,
Any signs of people?
At first, you don't see any signs of human inhabitation around here. It is just swamp and bayou. But you start noticing strange things. You see what looks like lights floating far away that flit in and out of trees, tiny points of light, even just bright enough to be able to be seen against the sun, but moving seemingly of their own accord. But every time you try and get a closer look at them, they're gone.
Can I try and
My D&D brain is going haywire right now.
detour and go towards them? I just want. They're going off in one direction. I just want like, oh, pretty, and just go off and try and chase them down.
Tenebris.
Sure. Roll a survival check to see if you can get there safe.
Tenebris. Where are you going?
That's a 10.
Your foot slips. You end up knee-deep in water, but you're still next to the roots of these trees, the pathways along which you've been walking. You don't sink any further down, but you are stuck for a moment in this mud. And when that happens, the lights go, and you swear that you hear something, even through the bird calls and insects and the slight wind that's just wafting through these tree trunks. You swear you hear.
Nope. Nope.
We'll have a nice,
Giggling.
clean game in the bayou.
Can
No, it's an
I?
Ali Jennings special.
Weird giggling lights.
This can only be a good thing.
We were just thinking maybe a crocodile. Maybe we'll just fight an alligator.
No.
Oh no, we're giggly lights.
I would like to mechanically cast dancing lights up, which goes up to 120 feet away. But I would basically like to say hello back, but with the colony.
Beautiful.
Love that.
Just more little moats, basically.
They're like ba 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 ba. And you wait.
That's the AOL.
What colour are these moats?
Green.
Green. A lush green. The green of the sun shining through a leaf. Bright, verdant. And they float their way towards the last place that you saw these lights. And they hang in the air. And then, one by one, they... and they disappear.
Did you see that?
No, I did not see anything.
By this point, guys, roll another perception check to see if you've
in
even
the
noticed
swamp.
that Tenebris has
Oh
stopped.
yeah, you fell in the river. Shit.
Oh yeah, and you were behind us. Oh,
I'm
God.
knee deep in the swamp.
Okay, no,
Six.
no, 22.
Absolutely. Infinity, you even noticed the moment that she left, so you can decide at this point what you've been doing.
Tenebris, I'll go over and try and like heave her out. I'll check on the ground and check that I'm not going to fall in just by going over there before you say it.
Yep, no, without problems, because of that previous survival roll, you manage to get over there and you start pulling Tenebris out. So Tenebris, do you resist?
No, I'm slightly distracted, but I'll squelch my feet out of the mud. Infinity.
What are you doing?
There are things here, and I thought maybe they were like, my friends. And
Oh, the cloud. There were more of them.
maybe, I don't know, there was something I saw.
Where?
Like, there. But then they disappeared, and then we disappeared, and then...
You're like
No, they...
your
sorry,
friends.
we are... Yeah.
The cloud.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Can you see anything?
she looks.
Roll a perception check.
11.
You see nothing.
No.
Just the...
No, I'm sorry, Tenebris, I don't.
Are you two? Can we keep moving, please?
Tenebris fell in the mud, Uriel. You
She's
just kept
organic.
walking.
It's basically what she's made of.
No, it's not.
I am not made of mud.
That's not how this works, Uriel.
It's algae and I don't know, biology stuff. Look, I'm just looking at biology. I'm surrounded by biology. It's
What
disgusting.
do you think metal's made of?
Well, I mean, it's atoms and molecules, but it's
Right.
not alive.
Mud's not alive either.
No, the things that are in it are.
Well, yes, but you're in some metal and you're alive.
Well, yes, but look, I was always told when I was growing up, you go down to planets, it's going to be covered in mud. And mud is just disgusting stuff, and it's full
we
of
don't need
germs
to be
and
mean about
microbes.
mud. You know.
It's
I'm
why
not
you
like
stay.
the mud.
It's why you
don't
stay in a
offend
good,
me
clean
if you-
spaceship, and it's why you don't get dragged out to the sticks. Why am I here?
Oh,
Uriel,
Uriel.
It's okay.
Uriel.
Look, it's fine. Look, fine. Let's just keep going.
I think maybe Infinity made this mud. You remember her whole making planets job? I think she made the mud, Uriel. Don't insult the mud.
What are you whispering about?
If you were to make mud, I'm sure it would be fantastic.
Well, I might have made this mud actually.
I mean,
Oh, really? It's so nice.
Thank you. I mean, I'm sorry you fell in it. I wouldn't
That's
have made
okay.
it like that if I knew you were going to fall in it. I don't know if I did make it. I might not have made it. I don't.
You'll get your memory back. Don't worry.
Maybe.
Let us. I will not fall in the mud anymore. Sorry, Uriel.
It's okay.
Let's
Let's
go.
keep going.
Uriel's very much trying to calm himself down.
Uriel,
Yep. Just
your
look,
head's gone all red.
yeah, I know. Just
Do you like a flower? I'll Druid craft a flower on his head again, like the old days.
thank you.
You're welcome.
What flower is it?
Buttercup?
It's just a tiny buttercup.
Tiny.
Rises from the centre of your crown, just swaying ever so slightly as you move. You press on through the swamps, underneath the cover of the trees. It's past noon now. You've been walking for a good 4 hours. Worth saying at this point that you're probably very hungry. You've not really eaten much.
You've
certainly slept.
Mushrooms. That is what I am doing.
Oh well,
So I love mushrooms.
you could. If everyone's hungry, I could create those berries again, and then we're
I mean, they
it's
were great.
good
but,
nutrients for
you
a
know,
day.
They're not exactly mushroom, are they?
I mean, I can. It's up to you. It uses a bit of my power, but
If it's sufficient calories, then I think we should probably just do
if,
so.
if there are any mushrooms around, we can use those. But do we see any mushrooms?
There are, even without rolling a check, you can see that there are huge table mushrooms growing out of bits of a rotting and fetid log, like really wide, broad-brimmed with a deep brown colour, and their gills are lighter, sort of ochre-tinted, almost yellow. They fan out from the trees around you.
I didn't prepare it.
I'm gonna.
Do I know if they're poisonous?
Roll a nature check.
I didn't prepare it.
I'm tasting.
I have detect poison now, and I didn't.
The Nature Check
Oh,
podcast is
yeah.
available wherever you get your podcasts.
Woo, Cheryl. 25.
25. You absolutely instantly recognize these like an old friend. This kind of brown tabletop fungus, the fruiting body of it, which is what you're looking at now, can actually be fried. And it's delicious. You don't even know why you know that, because frying isn't necessarily a part of your...
In my memory banks, apparently on previous planets, this mushroom, they would take it and they would fry it, and it would taste very, very good. I've never tried it, and obviously I don't know if I really taste things properly, but you two might like it.
I'm going to eat some.
We don't have any
We could fry
frying
it.
equipment.
I'm just testing. I'm very hungry.
We might.
It tastes rubbery, but it also tastes filling, if that's a taste, which it isn't. There's a slight sort of saltiness to it, and you can feel that the texture of the flesh, it's quite difficult to chew through. It's pretty tough. But as you eat it, you can feel your pangs of hunger subsiding for now.
This would be so good fried in butter.
Okay,
What's butter?
fine.
I do
The
know
thing
what
you make
butter is,
from
but I've never
mushroom
really...
milk.
What is it? Like, tell me what it's
You milk
like.
the mushrooms,
A mushroom? No, you milk
and then you...
an animal.
Animals don't
Or
have
a
milk.
nut. Some people milk nuts.
Or a mushroom. And then you, like, churn it up, I guess? I don't know how that makes it different. Because...
This is why
Then
it's
it
just
turns into
easier with
butter.
nutrient base.
Boring. That was
As you come to the end of your meal, and you set out on the next leg of your journey, is there anything you guys want to do before you continue on the trail in the direction Uriel has suggested? I'll take that as a no.
Have we heard or seen any disturbance behind us that would indicate the ship has left?
Oh yes, very good question.
Make a perception check.
Right. Come on, I've been rolling really hot on these ones so far.
I'll guide you.
Oh, I actually do this time. 17.
Plus a D4.
Plus a D4.
I believe in you, Euro.
So that's a +3. So what did I say before? 17.
Yeah.
So that's a synthetic 20. To know for
Yeah.
sure that nothing has happened.
You have been looking up into the sky. You've been looking up to see, back in the direction that you came from, whether or not this ship has somehow blasted its way off and back into orbit. And you've not seen that. You've not seen anything like that. You have seen something else in the sky as it approached noon, so maybe 2 hours ago now. You saw the great silver wheeling disc way up over past the lip of the atmosphere into space, reflecting the sunlight. A silver disc floating above your head. Your home, so far away, passing silently through the sky above you.
Right, let's just keep going.
What's that, Uriel?
Look, we're gonna get to Void. We're gonna get up to the Void, and we're gonna go to Martin's Bane. Let's just...
And then we can meet more of those nice creatures who live in the void.
I don't know if... But to be honest, I don't know how many of them there are. I've heard of them, but they were kind of just like a...
You've heard of them?
Well, yeah, but they're the kind of stories that they tell you around the Fabricator, you know? Just... They're little green men. They're these unusual...
They were not that little. They were quite tall.
I thought that. I was expecting them to be taller, to be quite honest. But, yeah, I don't know much more than that about them, and I was expecting, well, I don't know. They're always made to be really scary, and...
Most like creatures like Uriel, like you have different genetics to me, right? Like I'm made for one planet, you are maybe made for another planet, but I can still like tell your brain is the same. Most people's brain is the same, apart from Infinity, who has kind of a weird brain, but you know, there are robots.
It's a
for that.
computer.
Ah, yes. But this person didn't have like human brain. Like
Oh.
it was like They were like really weird. They were like no human being I ever like met. Not that I met anyone.
They were slightly human. There was definitely human within them somewhere. I mean, not like either of you, but they weren't completely not human.
Well, I suppose they would have to start somewhere, when you're creating, people.
There's a lot of other parts of other things in there as well.
Maybe they're just really weird, though.
Maybe they've just, evolved so separately that they're a completely new species.
Or like designed to survive in space.
Maybe.
In void. In vacuum.
Why would you design something biological to do that?
Well, why would you design something biological to live on a planet with so much sunlight?
Oh, sunlight's quite good for life a lot of the time.
Void is very much not good for life. It's very good for synthetics.
I spent a lot of time in the void.
Yes.
You didn't see any little green men, though, or tall green peoples.
No, I don't think so.
We should ask someone, I just didn't know that there were people like that hanging out up there, It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go visit them.
They weren't very nice.
No,
then.
they did murder people. 3 people were murdered, but they were told to, so it was job. And sometimes, look, if you have an employer and they tell you to do something, you have to do things that you really don't want to do, and that's just the way it is. Okay, that is.
But we're trying not to take jobs like that.
No, because we are lovely and we would never do that. So
But the ends
no terrible pain.
The ends justify the means.
horrible
If
pain.
they've been given a mission to do, why does it matter?
Why
What
does
do
it
you mean?
matter?
Oh, if you end up with casualties over the course of achieving an objective, why does that matter? The objective's the important thing.
But it's life, Uriel.
It kind of depends whether you're a nice person or not as well. You don't want people to be scared of you and thinking you're going to hurt them. You want to be, good.
Oh, if you are concerned about other people's opinion, if that affects the parameters of future objectives, then yes. But otherwise, it has no intrinsic value. It's just a collection of chemicals.
I don't think that's true.
I value it a lot. For me, I would really not like to be dead.
I would like you not to be dead as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a pretty standard definition of sentience, isn't it? But my sentience isn't necessarily the same as somebody else's. I cannot calculate without my sentience. I can calculate just fine if there are other people that lose their sentience.
Yeah, but if we all agree that we don't want to die, then we all agree the same value, which is oh my gosh, life is great. Don't you just love life?
I would die if it helped you two.
No, don't die. Why does everyone want to die today?
No, I don't want to, but I want to keep you two safe. But if I had to die so you two could be safe, then that would be fine.
Well, if your mission critical objective was to keep us alive, then yes, that would be a logical transaction.
Right, exactly.
You don't just have to do what your job tells you, Uriel. Sometimes you can leave your job and not just do mission critical objectives, okay?
Well, that is assuming that your personal choices are more important than the choices of the collective, and that's not necessarily correct.
This is very complex. I'm not sure I understand.
I believe this is what they call philosophical.
This is very philosophical.
I believe we're still in the swamp, and I believe
Okay,
we'd
we are
like to get out.
Okay, we're moving.
We are walking.
Roll another survival check, Infinity.
Can I guide myself? I can, right?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Hey,
You touch
fine.
one willing creature.
Hey, why not? Touch yourself.
Oh, why did you say that? 16.
As you're progressing through the bayou, you start to sense that the air around you has a slightly different smell. You get the scent of salt for the first time. And what you realise as this is happening is that the paths and the ways across the moss and the roots of these trees and these little clods of earth and soil that have been around are becoming progressively less and less obvious. And in fact, what they appear to be being replaced with are different kinds of trees trees that almost seem to sit in this very thick, rich mud, grey, that surrounds all of them. And as you're walking through them, you see beneath your feet, and in fact, you feel yourself stepping on hard little root tips, sticking up, breaking the surface of the silt, almost like wooden fingers reaching out and grasping for the air.
What's that? What is that?
The forest has become thicker as well. You can't see as far as you could. There are broader leaves and it's all shading this thick, grey, silty mud surrounding you. You smell the smell of decay, fungus, bird shit, all rising from the ground, this mush. It's harsh, caustic. And around you, in the streams, you see dried leaves and husks floating silently along, all in the same direction. And what you realise is that you can't guide people, your party, in the same way that you could before. The route is no longer clear. What you do see around you, there are channels still breaking up these alluvial plains in front of you. Wide rivers that have pushed through the mud banks. And there is one not too far away from you, the same channel that has been meandering along next to you this entire time.
Oh, maybe we should. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Emily just kind of zoned out at the end there because I was just listening to your voice and getting really relaxed. So you're basically saying that we're in like sort of that weird. I can't find the way this way, but if we just follow there's still like a river going next to us, basically.
There is a river still.
Right. Okay.
But to get through this mud, which you have started wading through, there's no clear path anymore.
Yeah. How do you two feel about this? I'm not quite sure exactly where we should go. I'm worried it might be dangerous. Maybe we should go into the water?
Uriel will get all fried.
Well, no, I can withstand water. When we were in the mountains, it was fine. It's just that this is humid and all the connection points are getting irritated.
Right, well, the quicker we go.
Okay.
I feel like the faster we get through, the better. The less time that whatever is in my arm right now has to try and grab hold.
Yes, okay.
And with that,
less warm. Okay.
the three of you start to wade your way through this muddy, swampy realm towards the channel before you. And with that, we'll leave it for today.
What is an alligator if not a wolf enduring in water?
We'll have a better WandaVision.
Right. So we. Great
Right.
job, Ali.
Boom.
Yay!
Nice one, guys.
I love the bayou.
New
Ding,
Orleans.
ding, 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 ding.
New Orleans. Ding a ding ding. Shame that we didn't meet anyone with a banjo.
Anyone?
I
Could
know.
have happened.
I was
Or an
really
accent.
waiting for the banjo to appear.
Oh, it'll come. It's on its way. Don't worry.
I'm gonna get the shit
From-
beat out of us. The banjo will be a melee weapon.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay. We'll all be so happy when they start smacking us around the head with it.
It's the escalating scream.
Yeah.
So, we've already had our break today, so should we just roll straight into the D&D brief?
Give Shamli a chance to take her wonderful wig off.
The D&D brief.
Wait, the ears aren't real? What?
The ears
Jesus!
are real. Oh,
Witchcraft!
Shamli, my life is a lie.
Okay.
Sorry,
Nobody
podcast
panic.
listeners.
Nobody
I'll
panic.
probably cut this bit on the podcast anyway. It's fine.
Good plan.
Pass.
So, I mean, in terms of science that people wanted to talk about from today, what were some topics that came?
So chat was saying at the end there that the roots coming out might be mangroves. What's going on there? What direction do mangrove roots grow in? I was also thinking about banyan trees. Why do they grow their roots from up the top? What's happening? Do you have an answer, Ali?
Thanks for that. The mangrove.
No.
No, but the mangrove tree thing is completely legit. Like they do grow out. They grow their roots out of the silt because the silt in which they grow, right, which is because they grow in deltas, and the silt from the rivers all deposits around them, and it's too densely packed. The silt particles are too fine, so there's no oxygen, right? They're very oxygen poor soils. So in order to get oxygen, the roots have to grow out into the water, because it's either air or when the tide comes in, it's water. So they
I
take
see.
oxygen.
Clever.
They act
Clever.
as an amazing break, as in like a defense mechanism.
They are a baffle. Yeah.
Against wave activity. They're these amazing like models.
They're the
you can
most
build of them. Where you plow a wave into it and compare the amount of erosion that takes place on like bare silt or soil, and you put mangroves in front, and it's incredible how much it baffles.
There's a case study from some Caribbean island that I cannot remember now, but basically the two islands really close to each other. One cut down all its mangroves for tourism, for beaches, and one left them. And then a hurricane came along and basically eroded away all of the beaches from one island and gave it to the other island, because the mangroves just baffled it all, and then that island grew, the other one shrank.
It's almost
that's really interesting.
as if we left natural ecosystems largely alone. They've already established some kind of equilibrium.
Weird.
It's crazy that.
I wonder
don't
how.
get it.
In terms of other stuff that came up today,
I had a quick question, but I think we've covered it before, which is that you used guidance, Emily. Like, is there anything more to it than just like the psychology of like literally like hyping someone up?
That's how I'm doing it at the moment. If anyone can think of another reason of what she could do, I am just using it as like a little like
pep talk.
Yeah.
I have something for that, but it may or may not be relevant. So maybe come back to that one.
Snitchachu even in Twitch chat is also saying, can we talk about the mushrooms? I want to know about milky mushrooms.
Is that? Oh yeah, is mushroom milk a thing, or is that just a Tenebris thing?
I feel like you can milk a lot of things.
It's a Tenebris
I got
thing.
nothing.
I'm gonna Google, can you milk a mushroom?
Mushroom milk.
I mean, they don't have nipples, so I don't know how you would.
Neither do almonds.
Someone
Or
said there were
coconuts, but it doesn't
mushroom-based
matter.
drinks in Spain.
How to milk a mushroom in
Milking.
Minecraft? Nope, that's not what we want.
It would appear that
What
you
is
can-
mushroom milk?
Huh?
It's a delicious blend of dehydrated. Oh, this is according to the new age.
Everything's
Maybe
about
not the
Minecraft.
most excellent source there.
Oh, it's mushroom and oat milk. Oat milk seems to be a thing.
Okay, so well, that's not milking
Maybe the
a
question
mushroom,
should
then.
be: is there anything that you can't milk? Nipple or no?
Jokes on this stream, apparently.
Oh,
Very well done. Very well done.
Annoyed that I called him out making the same joke twice.
I varied it. There was something else that came out. I can't remember.
The tiny points of light I thought were interesting, but I expect probably not for now.
I had a sudden sort of moment of realization on the little friend, big friend, tall green man, as to some of the DNA that might be going on in there. But I don't want to say because
I feel like they might come back.
I feel like this might be a good plot point. And
Yeah, let's leave that one.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really interested.
I'll message you later and be like, I think it's this. Is it this?
I'll message you later.
Yeah.
But with that, I think Ali, you had something that you'd prepared today.
You wanted to say, oh, yeah. Well, basically, I'm just thinking about the tooth fairy, right? Is it in any way feasible? Is the question on everybody's
where on
lips.
earth did it come from in your head that you're like, you know what this ship should be? It should
A
be a living
tooth.
tooth with fleshy gums that can just sort of mold around. Like, why? Why? Ali, why? Why have you done this? Can't believe you've
That's
done this.
that's just what happens in my brain on a daily basis, and I struggle not to put those kind of things in emails to people at work. Have you considered encasing
Thank you so much
that
for your notes on this
in
video.
flesh?
Have you considered that it could be a giant tooth?
Yeah. I've put some notes. Just let me know what you think. They're a bit toothy, but you know.
Ali is a vampire, confirmed.
Vampires don't seek teeth. That's not like their thing.
But like, if you're a vampire, you'd be pretty obsessed with teeth, right? Because you'd want to keep yours nice and pointy and
You
sharp.
brush them and be.
Yeah.
You wouldn't You wouldn't ride a giant. I'd
Okay,
ride a
that's
giant
fair, that's
bicep
fair.
down to
Maybe-
like the.
Vampires would 100% have like a niche on YouTube. There'd be like tooth maintenance tutorials.
Absolutely.
Oh, they
But
would.
hang on, do
How
vampires
to get rid of
appear on
bloodstains.
film? Is it they don't appear in mirrors? So on a mirrored camera, they wouldn't appear.
But it's the same. But it's the
It
same.
must be their
Should be
voice.
said of the light wells that you get in a sensor rather than film the Polaroid stuff. I bet it's different rules, right?
Yeah, why are they supposed to not appear? Is it because they're silvered mirrors? And oh no, that's
No,
werewolves that
no,
don't like silver.
Yes,
I think
I
vampires
think
maybe have a
it's
bit of
just
that.
a thing that they're supernatural and weird, and
There's a
therefore
really
they don't have a
great historical
reflection.
reason.
That can't be right, Bates.
Okay,
There's got to be a
Googling
scientific
it.
reason.
Harry,
Why
why don't
No, there's going to be some.
vampires appear?
Yeah, I bet. I like silver.
According to
Silver.
mythos, vampires. Blah, 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 blah. Surprisingly, the reason why is because of how mirrors used to be constructed. That simple
Hello!
layer of silver is what kept vampires from being able to see their faces in a mirror in the time of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
According to
There you
who
go,
was
well
that?
done. Spookeats.com. The top one came up on Google. In the 19th century, mirrors were backed with a thin layer of silver, which is believed to be one of the reasons. Believed to be one of the purest metals, perfect for repelling werewolves and vampires.
That's what I was going
Yeah, nice.
That's great.
There's some really
I mean-
weird ones with vampires that I didn't know about. Like they can't enter into a place unless they're invited in.
How did you not know that? That's the
Where
number
were
one
you in
thing
the
to know
Night
about
Kings?
vampires.
I never knew about this.
You never watched Buffy?
No,
What were
I
you
didn't
doing
watch
instead
Buffy.
of watching Buffy? It was on before Star Trek, Simon. What were you doing?
I'm like I'm
Have you
younger
seen
than you,
Angel?
Shamini. It was a bit before my time.
I absolutely get out. I'm younger than you. I watched Buffy, although I didn't watch it that much, but I did watch it.
But
I was
what's
a
it
bit
on?
too
Some
young
homework,
to
Si.
be watching it.
It was on BBC Two at
But I
6:45.
enjoyed it.
I think
Seriously,
I was too
Simon.
young.
Yeah.
Next time you have someone round or someone knocks on your door and they look like they want to come in, don't ask them and just see if they can.
Yeah. Just step aside and.
But isn't it
sort of
also
just,
like flowing water? They can't cross flowing water.
Yeah.
Yeah, then chuck a bucket of water at them.
Yeah.
No, but flowing
not
water, I
witches.
think it's meant to be.
Have a water feature, just like a simple water feature over the threshold of the
Just
house.
simple.
And is it
common
salt?
or
They can't cross
garden.
salt, or is that demons?
Don't know about salt. I feel like there's a thing of that in Buffy as well, where they do like a salt ring at some point. But that could be anything, because there's lots of different demons in Buffy. It's not just vampires.
Yeah.
Also keep slugs away.
The
Practical side
vampires
benefit.
of the mollusk kingdom.
A vampire slug.
Oh.
Isn't that a thing?
Oh.
It takes
Oh,
ages
is
to
that
get
a
to.
Right, Google it. Google the vampire slug.
Vampire slug. I've heard that phrase.
Wait,
but
hang on,
maybe-
we're being idiots. Vampire slug is just a fucking leech.
I mean,
Not
oh
a
yeah, okay,
mollusk,
that is
though,
what it is.
What's a leech?
Yeah.
A leech. It's a leech. A mollusk.
This fire snail is the vampire
A leech is a
equivalent of a
worm.
slug. Oh my god, fire snails.
The
The
Everyone look up fire
vampire
snails.
equivalent of a slug.
Should it be the
Look
slug
up
equivalent of
fire
vampire?
snails.
Okay, fire snail.
Fire snail.
Sorry.
Oh my word!
This is homework for everyone, even on the podcast.
Looking
Just
up fire
look at the
Latimer.
pictures of these things.
Is it eating that person's fingers?
I don't
No,
think
he's not
so.
eating them.
It looks like a
It's
Pokemon.
out.
Beautiful.
Looks like a
It
slugma.
does. Wow.
It's lovely.
Oh wow, fire
What
slug.
does it eat?
What is it? I don't know, but I typed in fire slug and it
Fingers,
automatically filled
Simon.
in Pokemon. Anyway, sorry, massive side track.
Yeah, huge.
Right, yeah.
I was
so,
going to say that I can see why a tooth would be nice and aerodynamic. So that was nice for a
Cuts
tooth
through
chip.
the air.
Yeah.
Exactly. It wasn't a molar, it was a canine.
No one would make a chip out of a molar. That would be wild. Who would think of that?
Maybe
Someone
you don't know
weird.
that yet, do you? Maybe there's you don't know how deep the tooth ship lore goes.
That's
Fairy,
that's
please
the
use
tooth,
for-
tooth car ferry is like a molar. It's like a really
Oh,
big...
you know what would be awesome, right? So like you've got your canine teeth for like landing and stuff, but then you've also got your two shear teeth, you know, that dogs have in the back of their mouths for just cutting ships apart in the air. How fucking awesome would that be?
What would the mothership be called? Would the mothership be like the mandible or something? Or,
Oh
Ooh, I
yeah.
like that.
or
Yeah.
Just the jaw.
The more I like the more.
More is better.
I like that a lot.
firing in slices down as like drop pods.
Oh yeah, talking like that.
After this
Yeah,
fight,
Looking
we,
at my-
we used up
Does
our
anyone
ammunition.
have
We're a bit
pointy
toothless.
canines? Because mine aren't pointy.
Not really.
No, I need teeth. I don't.
Great
Can you run through the types of teeth that we have, right? Because we got What are the two at the front? Are they incisors? The two ones at the front?
I don't know.
I can fully tell you I did not prepare for this line of questioning.
You didn't think we'd ask what kind of teeth? Okay, incisors are your
Incisors,
four front
canines,
teeth on the top
molars.
row.
Right.
Premolars, molars.
And then it's your canines.
Wisdom teeth.
Canines are the sharp, pointy ones, but one on each side. Premolars next to your canine teeth. You have 8 in total, 4 on your top jaw and 4 on the bottom. They are bigger and wider than your incisors and canine teeth and are used for crushing and grinding food. And then you have 12 molars, 6 on the top and 6 on the bottom, which includes 4 wisdom teeth. They are your strongest teeth and work with your tongue to help you swallow food, mashing it up until it's ready to be swallowed safely.
Which includes the wisdom teeth.
I don't have wisdom teeth. They haven't come through.
So I was thinking, right,
About teeth.
you know the bit where the tooth. So the tooth ship, you guys went up into the ship, right? There was a whole board in the bottom, into the bottom of the shuttle, and then you're all up in this tooth's grill, as it were. And then
In the grill.
Yeah. Was it the which bit of the tooth? Was it the pointy bit of the canine that crashed into the ship that pierced the ship?
no, it wasn't actually. Although that would
weird.
also make sense,
Well,
right?
It made much more sense.
But
It was the rooty bit.
Well, because the flesh closes over you as you leave, so there's different ways of getting in and out. But yeah, I mean that could easily work. Maybe it does work like that normally, and they just got it wrong. Anyway, that's just a story for another day. But what? So you get up there, and then as you're taking off, the sides of the ship all kind of flow, and the flesh all sort of moves around and sort of forms the bottom of the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that is one of two things. That's either wound healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that's growing artificial meat.
Oh.
Because, side note, right? You can't actually regrow periodontal gum and bone. It's a bitch. Like I have receding gums and bone loss. When it's gone, it's gone. That's it.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's really annoying. Except, right? A paper in 2019.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Science, bitch.
Thanks, Ali's gums.
Ali's gums, always a great segue. Just putting it out there. They implanted a membrane. The
science,
the science,
The man.
the science,
the people.
the peeps implanted
We
a
don't do
membrane
the men.
in a rat. Was it a rat or was it a mouse? Anyway, so what they did is they banged a membrane, just like an artificial membrane, into a rat's teeth, like onto a rat's teeth. And what it does is it gets dental-derived stem cells to stick to it, along with calcium and phosphate, and then they regrow the bone.
They had
And
to add,
gum
but they
around.
had to add all the ingredients. They had to add the stem cells as well.
Yes, I don't think your mouth is full of stem cells, but I don't know. I didn't read the paper in
I
that
can't
great
imagine
detail.
it would be, because I can't imagine what you would need stem cells in your mouth for.
If they don't grow usually.
If anything doesn't grow back, so yeah. Can't
So they
confirm.
can grow
Getting
it back,
children.
but like in your mouth, in the right place, basically, by using the membrane to guide.
But I
the
also have a
growth.
separate fact, right? Because you know the ship is covered in enamel. Can't regrow enamel
I'm
either.
just really confused about which bits of this ship are enamel and which bits are flesh.
Well, the toothy bit,
Like one end is enamel, one end is mostly flesh, right?
the outsidey bit is
Yeah.
enamel, right? And basically, I mean, you know, let's assume that we're not going to see much of the tooth like for a while. The tooth, it's sort of enameled all over when it was flying through space, because you can't just have flesh like against the vacuum of space and last for particularly long.
How long would enamel last against the vacuum of space?
Let's Google that.
Well, I mean,
Depends how fast it's
enamel's the
going.
hardest substance in the body.
It's
Yes.
surely.
So hard that you can't regrow it.
Yeah. So if you're going to design anything to be an exterior layer,
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Resistant to erosion. Unless instead of like cosmic space dust, you just like throw coke at it.
but
gonna say,
there's two issues there though. You've got the exterior forcing of micrometeorites and stuff, but then you also have to withstand a pressure from the inside. You have to have a pressurized interior, so the tensile strength of it has to be sufficient for that.
Oh, I see.
It's got to be.
But it
Very
depends also,
strong,
like,
right?
you know, you could, I don't know if it's possible to have it as slabs, like massive incisors, but what if you also kind of had weaves of enamel somehow, like a graphene-esque.
Yeah, because
kind of-
bone doesn't ever bend, really, does it? It
Well,
breaks.
the flesh
So
would presumably help.
Bone does bend.
a bit before it goes.
Yeah.
But it
it's not
doesn't
like
bend and
cartilage.
stay bent. Is that right? It wouldn't bend and
Yeah,
just
it's
be
a-
stuck.
it's-
It's either going to go
It
back
It bends
or it's
a
going to
little
snap.
bit, but it doesn't.
like a
Yeah.
wishbone. Like,
Yeah, but if you let go, it wouldn't stay in
Yes,
that
exactly.
shape.
It's
So
elastic.
it would bring back, yeah.
Unless there are some crazy sort of chemicals that you can apply to bone to make it all wibble wobbly, but I don't know what they
So
are.
wait, if the entire outside of the ship is enamel, how is there an enamel door that is a moving part that opens to reveal the flesh that moves, or is there some flesh that's on the outside?
Well, it would basically mean that when the enamel hit the ship, bang, the enamel would then have to dissolve in some way, right, to reveal the innards of the ship through which you could then.
Yeah. And you then have to
Aliens there with a
regrow-
2-litre bottle of Coke, just like
Except he's in the ship. It's in the ship, right? Like, how is it? Just get it, do it. There has to be some.
Oh, gosh. Okay, that makes
be
more
hilarious.
sense. Okay, so then you'd have to like regrow the enamel and get rid of it every time.
And
Okay.
you can actually regrow it. Like this is it's happened in 2019, which is a massive year for teeth. And in China, a load of researchers, who I assume are Chinese, but I don't know actually, basically found that by mixing really simple stuff like the kind of chemical components of enamel, so calcium and like phosphate and a trimethylene, whatever that is, in alcohol, in the right at the right amounts, basically starts to regrow the enamel, so they can regrow it now.
Cool.
And all the stuff that you see on toothpaste is nonsense, right? That's doesn't.
all of it.
It can't all be nonsense.
Well,
Don't
the
tell me
fluoride is the
all of
important bit,
toothpaste
right?
is nonsense.
Yeah.
The fluoride makes. I actually don't know what fluoride does. I think it makes enamel harder.
I thought it was more like a kind of but there's two purposes, right? Because there's making your teeth white and removing stains, and then there's like your biological health and like gum health and removing plaque and stuff.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a plaque remover.
Have a quick-
I want to know what the
Does
best
anyone-
toothpaste to get is.
I feel like maybe it destroys bacteria.
Has anyone used that charcoal toothpaste you can get? I have not. I considered it because the internet sometimes tells me to do it.
Okay, right. So people use toothpaste with a toothbrush to gently sweep away plaque and other debris from their teeth. We're learning.
Wow. Great facts from Simon Clark.
In 2019, it was
Dr.
discovered that
Simon
people
Clark
sometimes use toothpaste.
Teaches us how to brush our teeth.
So there are basically 5 components to a toothpaste. There's abrasives, such as calcium carbonate or calcium phosphate, that remove anything
great.
sticking to the surface.
Yeah,
There's
that's that.
Sure.
binders, like xanthan gum, that provide elasticity and form to the toothpaste.
Keep it together. Yeah, great.
Humectants,
Humectants.
such as glycerol or propylene glycol. These retain water to prevent hardening.
Okay.
Foaming agents.
That's interesting because sometimes when you leave the top of your toothpaste over, it all solidifies and you're like, oh, fuck, and you have to push it out and get that bit off.
Humectants!
Humectants, how dare you?
And then foaming agents and preservatives. So those are like your broad components, like mechanically. And then within that, you can have flavorings, the spearmint, peppermint, whatever, sweeteners, like glycerol or xylitol, anti-sensitivity agents, including,
That's got to be
It's sensitive
anesthetics,
to-
right?
including
anesthetic.
strontium chloride. Now, I'm not a chemist, but that sounds like a pretty funky thing to be
Strontium.
putting in your mouth.
Well, no, it's
Strontium.
chloride.
Isn't
It's probably
that-
fine.
And then it lists
Strontium radioactive.
I think
I
some
hope not.
steps of it might be. So fluoride is sort of like the active ingredient, and
But what's it doing?
so it strengthens enamel and prevents cavities.
How?
But does it?
So
What does
right, in
2019
children and
say?
adults, it slows down the acid-producing capability of plaque. So basically, it accepts that you're going to get plaque, but you try to mechanically remove it. But if it is there, it means that it can't produce so much acid and destroy the enamel.
No,
Plaque
okay.
is
And that's-
bacteria.
Yeah.
But
But that's why those toothpaste, they never say that they can actually sort of rebuild or help you regrow enamel. They just say
Yeah.
helps for enamel. It's really carefully worded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, and
It
plaque
helps
is
stop
not
further.
actually bacteria. I thought it was.
Oh,
It is a sticky deposit on teeth in which bacteria proliferate.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
that makes
egg
sense.
of your
Okay.
teeth, kind of.
They poop out,
Yeah.
right? Like they're just
well, plaque's
pooping out.
just,
They're
if you
forming a
don't brush
matrix.
properly, there's a shit that gets stuck.
It's an example of a biofilm,
Nice. That's what I
which is the
like
kind of thing that
having in my
Ali and
mouth.
Emily make quite frequently.
Boom! Wait,
Hey!
that's
More
disgusting.
Charmony makes more biofilms than we do, really.
I do make
I
some
prefer to call them
biofilms sometimes.
biopics.
Get in the bin.
Comprises any. I love Wikipedia articles like this. A biofilm comprises.
You should make a podcast about this.
You should. I should.
Just you reading Wikipedia articles.
He's got a podcast about this, Ali.
It's barely about Wikipedia. That's cool.
It's not the Wikicast.
A biofilm comprises any synthropic consortium of microorganisms in which cells stick to each other and also often to a surface.
That's a good villain name. Like if he said, like, who sent you? The Synthropic Consortium. Would have been like,
That's the people that own the moor and have sent the tooth fairy.
Yes. No, we got that. It was what was it?
I don't know what it was actually.
The many heads.
Oh,
the many heads.
Oh, no.
Also, I do have a just quick game question for you, Ali. I wrote Shay touched.
How are you
Is that
spelling
right?
Shay?
As in
S-H-A-E?
the sort of
S-H-A-Y?
shade. S-H-A-D-E.
And then touched.
Although, yes, shade touched.
Past
Great.
tense of touch.
Great.
Right.
Yes.
Update the notes.
I thought it was Shay. I thought it was a bit like being Faye touched, but just Shay.
That's what I thought. I thought you just taken
Shay.
Faye touched and
So
gone.
did I. I was like,
She's
Shay
nice.
touched.
Oh,
She's
sorry.
touched me.
One last thing from this article about dental plaque.
Yep.
Oral hygiene is important as dental biofilms may become acidic, causing the demineralization of the teeth, which is cavities. So you're removing the minerals. Or they can harden into dental calculus, which is just the medical name for tartar.
Right.
Nice.
But I just
Never
like
had a cavity.
What's
Never
wrong with
had
that?
one.
What's wrong with having some tartar?
And
I like
presumably,
loads of
dental
cavities.
calculus
Harder.
comes from calx, meaning limestone, which is where we get the modern name calculus from, because it was originally a form of maths that was done by moving rocks around.
No.
I believe that's the etymology of calculus.
Calculus
Really?
is named after moving the
After
calci
rocks?
This is huge
Wow, I
news.
like
It's,
that.
well, it's
I like
from
that a lot.
Arabic. It's
very
from
nice.
Arabic. Yeah, from Latin, small pebble, as used on an abacus.
Oh, you know, we haven't had etymology
Abacus.
corner for a really long time. That was really nice. I
That
enjoyed
wasn't from Arabic. I can. Yeah,
You
calculus
should do more etymology caller.
was originally a pebble or stone used as a reckoning counter.
Ooh.
Originally from
That
limestone.
sounds really threatening,
That's
doesn't
really
it?
nice.
Now it's the time of your reckoning counter.
That could be a villain too.
Calcite.
We've got some great villains coming up
And are
now.
these like calcium-based rocks? Is this all the same?
Yeah,
Like,
calx is the
calcium-
Latin for
must be.
limestone.
Ah.
What's the
Wow.
chemical formula for limestone?
Calcium carbonate.
CO3.
Wait, did you say the same thing? I don't know.
We all said the same
We did
thing.
say the same
Okay,
thing. We just
well
said it in
done.
different ways.
Good.
So important to us.
Also,
Calcium carbonate.
There's more tooth facts!
No, it's not a
did
tooth
it?
fact. It's an
Oh, okay.
etymology fact. I didn't know this.
Hey!
So calx is the Latin for limestone, but it's also a word for chalk, which means that you can refer to a finish line as the calx, spelled C-A-L-X, because it's been marked out, a line that's been marked out in chalk.
Oh. Well, why would you?
Well, I've instantly forgotten that fact. It was so...
I
don't even know what it was. I've
interesting.
forgotten everything about it. But I felt like it was interesting as I was hearing
I'm
it.
closing the tab. Fine. Taking my toys and going home.
Thank you. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Great.
I mean, Simon.
That was so interesting, I've already forgotten it. Wow.
It's one of those annoying facts now, though. Whenever I see anyone drawing with chalk, I'll be like,
Just take me out back, Ali. Tell me to think about the rabbits and the alfalfa. Just...
And look away.
Alfalfa.
Anyway, look, we've come here for a reason, and that's to talk about
Teeth.
Tooth fairy.
Teeth. Gums.
teeth
Flesh.
and gums
Horror
and flesh and
shit.
wound healing and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So just one thing about growing artificial meat, which this could be, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically what they do if they want to grow artificial meat, like they're trying to make burgers in a petri dish and all that kind of stuff. They start off with a load of stem cells that they grow in a bioreactor, and then they basically all these stem cells just proliferate, and then they I don't know how they do it, but they specialize them to move towards a sort of muscular fat lineage of cells. But when they pour them out of this bioreactor, they're basically this sort of sludge paste, which I will put in a video somewhere and give you the time reference for, because it's really gross, but it looks exactly like the sort of thing which might have happened to you guys. But the thing is,
how quickly does it flow? Like, is it like tar, like viscous, or is it?
yeah, it's a bit like it's a lot like tar. It's the sort of thing that you would have nightmares about, engulfing you and you drowning in. You're just like
Like a 50s B movie blob kind of monster.
Yeah, but worse. Like a little bit lumpy and also really sort of alive looking. Like it's alive whilst also being obviously dead, but clearly alive. It's really gross.
It's alive.
Does it look like the tubby custard machine?
I think it might.
Do you remember at one point
Time
people
for
were
Tubby
sharing
Custard.
like little clips of the tubby custard machine from Teletubbies and being like, "This is what your meat products are made from. Why would you eat such terrible
Oh
things?"
yes, and they actually were trying to pretend that it was like an animal. Yeah.
I must
Same.
look at this tubby
Maybe
custard
instead
machine.
of the real meat video, you could just send a video of the Teletubbies.
It's actually pretty. They're
That-
pretty phallic. I mean, they're almost unbelievably phallic. Have you-
Phallic.
They are. Look at them.
phallic. Oh, there's a little blue tap.
No, look at them.
Yeah,
Look at the
wasn't it-
pictures.
Nunu.
Have you put this in the Discord?
You know, I will
was
put
the
this in the
name of it.
Discord.
Okay, right, we're gonna get.
I will
on
put the
custard
unbelievable
How
machines
is this
in the Discord.
phallic?
It's not. It's not fun.
Even
But
by our
your-
standards,
your
but this has
grade
gone
teach
off
as
the
well.
rails so much.
Okay,
right.
all right.
That's
Right.
all
I have a
meat.
question about mouths and teeth and gums and things. I have a question.
Great, Emily Bates.
Is it true that wounds in your mouth heal quicker? Because I've heard that.
Oh,
Is that
Great
true?
question. I've got no
And I
idea.
think.
is
Oh, I
it
thought
because
that might be
there's
why
a
you
really
did it.
high infection risk because your mouth is like a breeding
Maybe,
ground
but
for
I
malicious
because
bacteria.
apparently it's
Do
like
wounds in your mouth heal faster?
that's googling.
Google it. What does Wikipedia say?
One of the.
I love
Well,
it.
PubMed. We
I was
got
gonna
something
say,
from
I've got-
PubMed
I've
here.
got-
What does
PubMed
PubMed
article,
say?
everyone.
Oh.
This has got to be true.
Saliva and wound healing,
Hmm.
2013. Wounds
No,
in the
damn
oral
it.
cavity heal faster and with less scarring than wounds in other parts of the body. One of the factors implicated in this phenomenon is the presence of saliva, which promotes the healing of oral wounds in several ways.
What
Saliva
ways?
creates a humid environment, which
Yum.
improves the survival and functioning of inflammatory cells that are crucial for wound healing.
That's-
And then there's a lot more, but
I would
that's
never have thought, because I'd have thought
interesting.
it being humid and moist would be great for the bacteria that might get in there, but like I guess cells,
You wouldn't have
our
thought,
own
yeah, it's
immune
a-
cells also literally need to not dry out and die.
I mean, from an
But do you know
evolutionary
what's-
perspective, you prioritize, like, if you have evolutionary points or expend energy to improve a system, you secure the mission critical bits first. So the
There's a
bits
lot of-
that
yeah.
are gonna, heal first are gonna be essential to eating and pooping. Like it's gonna,
breathing.
yeah, it's gonna be those systems. So I guess it makes sense.
What's awesome about that is that there is new technology, which again I found this article about. There is new technology which secretes a specific chemical which summons immune cells to a wound to make it heal faster. It's like wound healing gel.
really. You mean
And
my
to-
cure wounds spell?
That could easily be that, very easily.
I'm having it.
And it's and that's just like what you're saying about the mouth, right? Because basically it just summons more immune cells to come and deal with the issue. And I also found another really awesome thing, like fact. So you know how aloe vera gets you it's always showing up in like skin products and soaps and shit, right?
I
Yeah,
have a new
what's
aloe
that
vera plant.
What's it
in
supposed
my
to
flat.
do? What's it for?
Well,
No?
it's supposed to have skin healing properties, and the science is like a little bit vague. I did have a little look, and I was like, there's not a huge amount of papers on this, but there are a couple. And first of all, it's got loads of anti-inflammatories, right? Which basically subdue immune response, which is good if you're swollen, but bad if you're trying to heal. So that's a bit weird.
So it's
I don't
in
know about that.
burn. When I got badly burned on my
I was gonna
leg,
say.
they had like an aloe vera thing,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
also felt cool. I don't know if it would have felt. any
It definitely
cooler
has a
than,
cool
you know.
feeling, like mint kind of almost vibe to it.
Hmm.
Whereas like mint feels cool. It's got that.
But what it also does is it contains this chemical called glucomannan. And what glucomannan does is it stimulates the cells which produce collagen. So it triggers these cells to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and they produce loads of collagen, and that's used as a scaffold to help heal skin. But also, if you think about it in terms of beauty products, collagen is the thing which is
Everyone's
supposed
big
to
on
keep
collagen,
your
isn't it?
skin smooth and youthful looking.
I do have an aloe vera like moisturizer that I use, and you can all tell it's clearly working.
Okay.
Don't all shout at once. My God, you're all
Emily Bates is
useless.
actually 83 years old. Her skin routine is just phenomenal.
It's just really good.
Nice.
I'll be 69. Okay.
Every obstacle, every innuendo
I feel
obstacle.
like-
Emily Bates sees it coming and is like, "Yeah, that's coming," and then just smashes straight into it.
What else is coming?
Too easy. Too easy.
You just threw it up there, Simon. You threw it up. I couldn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was also thinking about another thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is my last sort of thought that I was having about this tooth thing, right?
Fair
And is really important, right? Because it's the propulsion question.
Yeah. How does your
Ooh, yeah.
tooth ship fly, Ali?
Yeah, thrust,
It's
right?
a tooth. Can't fly.
So, I was looking really hard for
Flying teeth.
some sort of flying tooth thing in biology as exists currently. But like almost all biological stuff flies by moving its
For
sort
podcast
of limbs
listeners,
of some
Ali
sort.
is flapping his arms.
That's science.
Very
I don't make the
elegantly.
rules.
Yeah.
But-
Teeth don't have wings, right?
That's
According
the
to a
first
paper
thing
in
I realised.
2019,
They
You can grow wings on a tooth. Like,
bunnies don't have hands and teeth do not have wings.
bunnies have paws. They're like hands.
They don't have hands.
No, they're paws, though.
They have paws because they don't have opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why are you? Wow, you're really.
This has been
We've had this argument with.
This has been a big thing on my Twitch. There's some filthy bun hand believers who are determined in convincing me
Oh, wait,
that buns
hang on.
have hands.
Is this just a thing where we need to just all agree that bunnies have hands to annoy you more?
No.
Because I will happily switch sides.
No,
I don't understand how you can argue that they don't.
They're kind of cute little hands, though.
no, but they're
Peter
not
Rabbit
hands.
has hands. I'm pretty sure he can pick stuff up. He's a rabbit.
He's also
It's funny.
fictional.
Well, is he? You know,
Yes,
you sure?
If I chopped both of my thumbs off, would I no longer have hands?
but you were born anatomically with thumbs. Your species
Oh,
has
you're
thumbs.
being really
Sounds like
thumbist
biological
here.
sensitivity
Yeah,
to me.
really.
I'm not sure about you're on dangerous ground here.
Yeah.
Do monkeys have
great.
hands?
They do.
Yes,
Yeah, they do.
Do cats have hands?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they don't. They have paws.
All animals have hands.
Especially
Simon.
cows.
Every
Cow
animal
hands.
has hands.
Does an
Yeah.
octopus
Oh.
have a hand?
Yep. Worms, little hands.
A octopus
as they
is
have-
basically
as they
one
call-
massive hand.
Well, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. An octopus is just one hand.
Optimus.
A worm
Leeches
worm
grabbing
actually
to the
have
hands.
really tiny hands. You just can't see them.
No, 5 worms make a hand. 'Cause each
Oh!
worm is a finger.
Oh, no.
Oh, 5-worm hand. Ah!
Right, there is a cut-off point when the hand becomes a paw, and that is when you have your species, your type specimen of a species has an opposable thumb.
I do agree with you. However, I'm enjoying how much this is winding you up. So yes,
Yeah.
bunnies do in fact have hands. If you give them thumbs, they definitely have
The
hands.
one exception are bats, because technically, that like
They have little tiny hands.
no, because their
They have
wings
thumbs.
are hands.
No, they have tiny hands on the end of their wings.
No,
they
the
don't.
wings
Perhaps
are
that
their
little-
hands,
the
like
little-
anatomically.
But again, now you're
fingers
going
No, no,
back
no.
into
are displayed
anatomical
like this.
homology.
Wait a
which
second,
Yeah.
because
you previously
because-
discarded.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
bunnies
They're the
ha-
exception.
bunnies have all the bones required. They're just in a slightly different shape. Yeah, they
Exactly.
do. All mammals have the
Everything
same bones.
has the same bone structure.
Like
yeah,
a
you're just
whale
gonna-
has the same. Well, a whale has the
Whale
exact
has
same
hands.
hand bone structure, but they're just encased in fin.
The reason that bats are the exception is because their name literally means flying hand or hand wing.
Oh, so if you name a creature,
just another
then it
etymology
has a
corner.
hand. That's
Fine.
the basis.
Okay, you know what? I take it back. Bats don't have hands either, even though it's in their name.
Please be consistent.
I don't have hands. None of us have hands. Hands
Emily
are
and
real.
I
What are
Did.
hands?
I've never heard of a hand. Never, not one.
Emily and I did a very excellent musical once where a farmer got kidnapped and his cow
What
couldn't
great-
help and sang a song.
That's true.
Well, he sang a song to the cow, including the line, "You are just a cow. You don't
You
have
don't have hands. Yeah. Oh, that was
Cow
such a
couldn't
good
save
show.
him.
I
Yeah,
played a
good show.
prostitute. It was great.
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay,
really
now
good.
in Twitch chat right now, James Gurney is bringing up an interesting point, which is that apparently New World monkeys don't have opposable thumbs.
What?
Oh, do
And
they
New
not?
New World monkeys.
New World monkeys don't have opposable thumbs. What are they
Like,
doing?
is that what?
Lie.
What is that? What?
Google it.
Hi!
Wait, what is a New World monkey? I thought that meant just new.
That's
no, okay.
us.
So there are a particular
No,
kind.
we're old
Yeah, it's
world
things like
have
tamarins
monkeys.
and
Mums?
that's not
Question mark.
We're an ape. Sorry.
Do New World?
Yeah,
Their thumbs are
okay.
not opposable. They have
very old
claws on all
world.
digits except for their big toes, which have nails. They do not have prehensile tails.
Okay, so now
Is
we
it
have
a
problem.
nail thing?
No. It's just
Nail
it's
versus
opposable.
claw.
It's that you can do this with your thumbs.
But you can
Should it be
you can
more?
grip
Podcast
things
listeners,
with
I am
it,
moving my
right?
thumbs.
Like they can hold on to stuff. If you have a paw, you cannot grip something.
What happens if you cut your
Now
thumbs
you're
off?
changing the definition.
Okay, we've been on this for too long. We've been on it for too long.
But
And
don't
we're
have hands.
away from the hands, chat.
Let me bring you back to the world of
Put his DM
teeth.
voice on.
Let me just suck you into my
Alex.
tooth zone.
Oh.
No, it's not. No, look. So before we go tooth zone, let's just think, right? If you can't give your tooth wings, and almost all animals and creatures that fly with wings, right? And this is where we got. I don't want to go down the hand thing again, but this is the same. This is where that came from.
Could you
How bunnies
eject
fly with their hands?
the tooth at high speeds from the gum? Could you just like fire your teeth at people?
That is so gross.
You know, like when you squeeze a spot, can you just squeeze hard enough on your
Like
gum?
a porcupine's spine. You know, the porcupine is there, and if you come near it, it's going to fire a spine at you.
It doesn't fire it at you. It just sort of releases it from its body, doesn't it? It doesn't fire a spine, does it?
Sure.
Fire a
I thought
spine.
porcupines could fire them, but
I think
thought
they
it
can.
wasn't just passive.
What?
I thought they could eject their spines. I have to admit.
Bullshit.
Jesus, have I been wrong about porcupines this whole time?
they're scary.
Porcupine spine fire.
Welcome to
Are
RP
they-
Geeks, where
are
we
they
Google
quills or
stuff.
Are they
Googling
spines?
Porcupines cannot shoot them at predators as once thought. But the quills do actually.
Oh.
That's National Geographic. That's
Debunked.
Yeah.
Oh.
so
Also, what's the
dumb.
difference between a quill and a spine?
Oh.
quills have got little hooks on the end.
Oh. You right with them.
That's why
in
they're
Harry
super
Potter.
bad, because they hook into your flesh and they
Oh no, here we
fly out
go.
like hedgehogs.
Spine is a more general term for any hair that has been modified into a hardened, spiked structure, whereas a quill is a specific type
Phylogenetic.
of spine.
If it comes from a hair.
Simon, you're so important to this.
You have
Like,
such
that,
good
that would have just
Googling.
passed. I could have just passed that non-fact lie straight
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
But
We really all
Listen
need to be
Eddie
very
about his
careful.
facts.
I don't think anyone
Nobody
really
knows.
trusts us, but like, you know, we
Wow.
should be...
The difference, if anybody wants to know, is that quills have a spongy core.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Weird.
yikes.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, look.
Are there any animals that fire things? I reckon you could probably fire things.
But no. But we're not talking about fire because we're just talking about how the thing could propel itself, right?
Okay,
There
fine.
is a creature which propels itself through jet propulsion, right? Which could work for this. That creature is a squid.
That's underwater!
You don't get that just because you were like squid. But you.
I wondered if you were going to ask.
Yeah. The way that it works, right, is it has two, like, you know, like a squid's little head, right, sort of pokes out from this sort of collar with it, which is its body, and it sucks in water through the collar into a space between the sort of the outside of its mantle and the inside of its body, right? It has a sort of like space all the way around the outside, a bit like a layer of clothing. It's like sucking it into, you know, your fleece, but not your t-shirt, and then it can crush that water space and eject it out of, you
That's
know,
great.
in this analogy, it's anus, I suppose. So you,
I don't
Nothing
think
like
they have
an anus,
I don't
is
think
it?
they have
Like, it's
anuses.
clearly
Don't they
not.
have a specific jet?
yes, they have a siphon.
jet hole.
They have a
Yeah.
siphon.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay.
I just wanted to say the word anus. I'm sorry. So they.
Understand.
So my thinking is, thank you,
Battle we all fight constantly, you know. Just,
It's hard for you. We get
and you guys were winning, and I just. It's been like, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, there are other species, aren't there? Like James Gurney is saying in Twitch chat right now, scallops. I think there are some mollusks.
Yes,
generally.
yeah. Totes. But in terms of like a sleek tooth-shaped object which moves at speed, squid was as close as I found. But I'm thinking that how do you do that with the air, right? Like you would basically have to be sucking in air into your sort of inner cavity incredibly quickly and then expelling it out and then doing that just at a massive speed.
sure.
Well,
It's just
I don't
like,
know if it's feasible.
you know,
well, the difference,
Also-
right? So it comes down to the
propulsion, right?
Like
It's still
It's
propulsion.
the momenta of the ejector that's the significant thing, because if you push something out of you, you gain the same momentum in the other direction. So Emily Bates, stop it.
I wasn't doing anything.
So if you are
I
ejecting a
was
fluid,
smiling.
the more dense the fluid is, given the same volume, the more momentum it's going to have at the same exit velocity. So air is just not going to give you very much momentum.
We've also already established that you need enamel most of the way around in order to maintain protect your flesh from the vacuum of space, which is not flexible and therefore can't be squeezed in to shoot anything out. So it's going to have to go through the middle or like a layer.
That's very true. Unless,
and then
unless you
I guess that's
created
possible.
a whole sort of So that's not going to work in the vacuum of space as well. It's a very good point, right? Because there's nothing to suck in and squeeze out.
Also the vacuum of space. Yeah, I forgot about that.
If
So
you
maybe
could just
it's-
inject something though in space, so it would work.
Yes, you could just like fire it from the mouth while it was in space, but then how does
Could
the mouth
you
move?
eat? Yeah, could they eat things that they can then eject? Can the tooth eat? What teeth
Can
are
a
for.
tooth eat?
Yeah. Yeah.
So does a tooth then
Or
have a little
drink.
mouth that goes nom 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 with little baby teeth in it?
Yeah.
I'm so confused as to how we've got here.
What's in the
And,
mouth of a tooth?
teeth? Tiny teeth.
But then what's in their mouths?
It's like
That's unknowable.
Has anyone watched The
It's
Apprentice?
teeth all the way
new
down.
season. In the new season of The Apprentice, they had to design advertising for a toothbrush, and they one team made a little cartoon tooth, but the cartoon tooth had teeth, and it was horrible. It was awful. I'm going to find a picture of it and send it to you all. Thanks.
Put it in the Discord. Everyone go on Discord. There's weird stuff there.
nightmare
We're
fuel.
sorry. Content warning, body horror.
Weird teeth.
Teeth. Yeah.
I've had a long day,
Final-
and I think that mental image is just the straw that broke the camel's back. Like,
Let me
He's got
purge
more. He's
that
got
image
one
with you
more.
for the final thing I have to throw at this, right? Which you probably already guessed anyway, is the Bombardier Beetle, right?
Ooh, I had
Chemical.
not guessed. What is this?
Propulsion.
The
yeah.
Bombardier Beetle basically has two compartments somewhere inside it, one of which stores hydroquinone and one of which stores hydrogen peroxide, which is bleach. And then it fires the two solutions together where its bum is. And when they combine, they basically react and boil. And then that boiling water is ejected as a jet, which it uses, and it can directionally use this to ward off attacking predators. And it's incredibly powerful and very
How?
painful.
How long is the recharge time on a Bombardier Beetle?
Great question.
short
Yeah.
rest.
You have to roll a 5 or a 6 on a d6, I guess.
But I thought maybe that would be a way that it could get an initial boost before
That'd be
switching to
great.
the
Yeah.
mantle
Mhm.
sort of system.
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
it's about like how do you synthesize those chemicals biologically? And actually, that's not known, I don't think, in how the Bombardier Beetle does it. There's like
Also, you
must
don't
be a whole chemical
necessarily
pathway.
have to, because you could even stock up if you're fueling your
Which
teeth. It was out
brings
of
me
fuel,
to my
right?
final thought, right?
Yeah.
What if the tooth was way bigger at the start because it was full of tooth fuel? And you're just seeing it.
Oh, that's so beneficial.
Oh, and then eventually it would just
That's
just
why-
dissolve around you. And
That's why the person was like crammed into this tiny ship, like going.
It was like,
"There's
I hope
gonna
I
be a
don't have to go
lot
any
more room
further
in here."
because I'm really running out of room.
yeah.
There's like a tooth salesperson who's like, yeah, and like there's loads of space, you can fit your whole family.
He's just taken the
Like,
tooth fairy back. So what's he gonna do?
He's just gonna breathe in, squeeze.
Or is this a James and the Giant Peach type situation in that originally, like, there's the capsule in the middle, and originally there was way more enamel, like, and that
Yeah,
got
that's
ablated.
eating- yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I can go with
Yeah,
that.
works as well. More space in the middle. There wasn't
Wow.
more space.
We've
I think
veered
we've really
so
nailed it.
wildly, and I've
I think
loved
we've,
it today.
we've learnt a lot about teeth.
have we?
Oh.
We've read
Some,
Wikipedia.
some tabs that I have open now are like, what teeth are in your mouth? Teletubbies, fire slugs, and then
minute.
the cartoon tooth from The Apprentice.
What teeth are outside your mouth is the bigger question.
Let's just look. My
That's a great question. There must be some.
Oh no.
Some
when I
animals have
before I had
anus
braces,
teeth,
one of my
don't they?
teeth would one of my teeth I could put over my lip when it was closed. My mouth was
I
closed.
swear there's some. Oh, it's sea cucumbers. They have anal teeth.
No.
Anal teeth.
But they're all anus.
Why?
No.
Like they're
Yeah.
just one
Isn't
massive
that because
anus.
their mouth is their anus as well?
Yeah, they're like a tube.
There's no reason
anus.
to have
Yes, true.
anus teeth. Otherwise, we're getting into like vagina dentata territory, right? So
Not if you're a sea cucumber.
God,
yeah.
some of these. I'm closing that tab.
there is a because.
Are you looking
Nate
at
Check
sea
D&D
cucumber
and Twitch
anal
chat
teeth?
is saying there is a horror movie about vagina dentata with which called Teeth, which I have watched, and it's very funny, but also horrendous.
I'm going to wrap this up before we get even more not safe for work than we've already been the whole episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live, watching us on YouTube, listening to the podcast. If you liked hanging out with our weird chat and fun adventures, then come back next week, and also shout out, say hi on social media. We're at RPGeeks DnD, that's DnD, on most of the social medias. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. Follow us.
And we'll be in real life. We're coming to a city near you.
What? Maybe. I mean,
I don't know.
when?
I'm just anticipating in the future we might be. This is
It was good, Adley. It was good, Adley. Keep going.
Get your tickets now.
People will find this in a year and they'll be like, "Holy shit, they are touring near me." How do they know?
Where should we tour first?
We stream a D&D game almost every week, along with some science chat. And this year, we're also going to start mixing it up. Around once a month, we're going to have some different kind of games, different kind of science-themed games, board games, video games, TTRPG one-shots. We're hoping to have some exciting guests. If we ever get organised enough for that, we're on it. We're sorry. We'll get on it.
We're trying.
So, yeah, for the one-shots, even if you're not caught up on the podcast on YouTube, keep an eye out on our socials so that you can join us for the one-shots and specials and one-offs. Brilliant. Okay, in that case, that's it for this week. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
We're sorry. Bye.
Sorry. So sorry.
Bye.
So sorry.